Sacred Symbols, a PlayStation podcast, is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to learn how to support our show, go to patreon.com/laststandmedia. Greetings and salutations. Welcome back to Sacred Symbols Plus, a PlayStation podcast supplement. My name is Colin Moriarty. I am here joining you today with a very special group of people, as I always am. I don't know if we've ever done this combination before. Let's get into it and introduce everyone for the audio listeners, especially. You don't know yet. Gene Park of the Washington Post wearing his Washington Post sweatshirt. It's very nice. It's a very nice piece of kit. Did they give you that or did you buy it?
I received this one, this little jacket, because we had a little internal fashion show at the Post, and I modeled it. So,
cool.
I did a little runway walk. I'm serious. They for some reason put on a fashion show for work merch. And then they asked me if I wanted to model it, and I just kept the jacket as a result of that. So
cool, man. It's good to see you. How's life? How's everything going?
Not bad. Just slow and sad, but that's the season. So.
Yeah, you seem a little down. Everything okay? Just that time of year?
Yeah, just that time of year. Yeah.
Yeah, the days are a little shorter.
Mm-hmm.
Weather's getting colder.
Mm-hmm.
Leaves are falling off the trees. Okay, fair enough. Well, it's good to see you. And good to see Jack as well. Jason Polansky from Atari. I forgot. I would call you senior producer, but that's not. Aren't you? You have a better title than that.
I just say producer. It's easy. It's easier that way.
Yeah.
We don't need to split the details.
You're very magnanimous.
That's how I introduce myself. It's what I do. It's most of my time. Yeah. And then the follow-up is always, what do you do? Do you code the game? No, I don't do that. I don't do any of that.
I live in spreadsheets. How are you doing? What's going on with your life?
Oh, man. Busy. So much stuff going on. Nonstop. Crazy at work. But, I was just telling you some anecdotal story before, but it's been like wild summer of travel, conventions, all that stuff. So no more for the rest of the year. But we're already talking about GDC. So I'm like, here we go. Let's go.
Oh, man.
I think I'm the exact opposite of you based on how you talk about traveling for conventions and doing all those things. I love it. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of time, but I thrive on it. Like, let's go. Now I'm sitting here like, all right, just hanging out now.
That's
now
so interesting.
I actually have to do the work.
Yeah, like I would know where I needed to go, if maybe a few months ahead of time. Sometimes I would get sent to things like pretty quickly, which sucked, like a few weeks or whatever, and then I would just let it ruin all of the time in between that moment and when I had to go somewhere, being like, oh my God, just get me let's just get this over with. Like if I could just go do this now and just get this over with, I would do it. Yeah, I totally love that disposition. I wish I was like that, but I'm not. I just wasn't. But good for you.
Yeah.
And yeah, we were talking a little bit about your travels recently, so it's good to see you. How's life with you otherwise? New York City, it's going to be a little more peaceful there now that the election's over, right? I was thinking the same thing here in Virginia. It's over now. Like no more robocalls, no more text messages, no more 17 things in the mail a day, no more every commercial during football.
Oh, man. Dude, the worst company in the world is Spectrum Internet Cable, but formerly Time Warner Cable. They are the worst. Like absolutely. That is about 80% of my mail that I get, which is random flyers like, come back, look at this great deal. Here's a gift card. No, I'm never going to do it. I'm not going to give you guys any money. For the last month or so, I would open my mailbox and it would just be filled with, people being like, vote for this guy, vote for this guy, vote for this guy. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, it's
happy that that's done. Just like stuff hanging on my walls. It's like, who let you in the building? What is happening? So that'll be nice. Also, just I do follow politics quite a bit, and just the discourse around it. It's like, cool. Let's talk about something else for a little while. That'll be nice. We're
here to talk about Ghost of Yotei. Very excited to talk to you guys about it. I beat it a couple of days ago. We're recording this on the 5th of November. So about a month ago, it came out. It came out October 2nd. It's, of course, the newest game from Sony-owned studio Sucker Punch up in Washington State. They're best known for Sly Cooper and the infamous trilogy. And this is the second game in the Ghost series. Ghost of Tsushima, of course, came out in 2020. Very curious to know what you guys think of this game. I will go last, as I usually like to do with our reviews, discussions, and Spoilercast. We'll go into a bunch of different things that will obviously spoil the game deeply. So if you haven't played it or care about that sort of thing, you should get out of here now. And I want to begin, as I always do, with like high level thoughts. Where are we at a 40,000 foot view? Jason, you're the guest. You're the away team. Let's go to you first. What did you think of Ghost of Yotei from Sucker Punch, and what are your high level thoughts?
So I was listening to Sacred Symbols, and that's when I sent you the email because you said, "Oh yeah, people really haven't finished it. You're looking for people to join." I was like, "Hey,
Yeah. Thank you for that, by the way. That was awesome because we did. I was surprised. There's so many games. People just made different choices, which is fine. I've also not played a bunch of shit that's come out this fall.
Yeah, of course. So I said, yeah, I'm playing it. I'm about to finish it. I finished it. I completed the main story 2 days ago on Monday, and then I actually got the platinum last night. So about 46 hours to get to that point. I definitely cheated by looking online to find out locations of things. We'll get into that later, I'm sure. And I actually come at this as a huge Sucker Punch fan. So other than Rocket Robot on Wheels, I've played every Sucker Punch game. Big Sly fan, big Infamous fan. I've platinum Ghost of Tsushima, played the Iki Island. Don't have all the trophies in that, but absolutely love everything they do. So, they're releasing a new game. I'm going to be all about it. That'll take the priority. It actually supplanted my Death Stranding 2 run. And so I come at this as a bit of a biased party, but I love it. I mean, it lives up to the legacy of Sucker Punch. Like, this is a true to God, another Sucker Punch game. They have this unique blend of, as I was thinking about it, it's like this unique brand of sticky platforming as it is that I just enjoy that nobody else does, even compared to something like an Assassin's Creed or something like that. So whether you're fighting, which is awesome, I enjoy like the exploration, which is amazing. It's beautiful. Like, few games, your reward is just, we're going to show you something very pretty. That's often, and this game does this all the time, where you go off the beaten path and you're just saying, oh, cool, there's another shrub. Like, I have another 1,000 of these shrubs, but wow, look at this postcard view that I have over here. Thank you, Ghost of Yotei. A lot of people talk about the narrative. I think the narrative is great. I really enjoyed it, but man, just playing this game, they are just masters of this open world formula. And just, they continue to make the best version of classic Assassin's Creed again. that was Ghost of Tsushima. That's what this is. And then mix in that classic platforming, which makes me think maybe somebody, like that 10% of people that recently said they wanted to keep making Sly Cooper. I'm like, yeah, they're still there because it's there. That's
she's like perched on top of like a pole or whatever. It's just like, yeah, there is a lot of that, and Infamous has that too, by the way. I mean, so
yes, of course.
So it's interesting that they've carried that through. There are a lot of people that are still there that probably worked on Sly,
but it's awesome. I loved it, and I look forward to talking more about
it. Where are you on it, Gene? Ghost of Yotei. You obviously had it early, I assume, from Sony.
I did. I got it a full, I want to say almost a month, if not at least 3 weeks before even release. Not even before release, before embargo, and the embargo was like a whole week before. So that's what I love about Sony, in that they are simply the best when it comes to finishing a project in time and getting it out, nice and ready, not coming in hot, whatever. The Last of Us 2 coming in a whole month before was just wonderful because it helped the story marinate, and the same with Ghost of Yotei. But yeah, Ghost of Yotei, I gave it a high marks in the Washington Post. I gave it 3.5 out of 4 stars. The same as Tsushima. But, I praise mostly its story, where I write here in my review on September 25th. Ghost of Yotei plays like a page-turner. Every story beat drives the protagonist Atsu and the player forward, anchored by Erika Ishii's fierce performance as snarling, vengeful mercenary. I go on further and say that I echo what Jason says, where director Nate Fox and Sucker Punch team don't transcend the open world genre. They just mastered it with writing that hits every note and precision with writing that hits every note with precision and heart. Yotei understands how throughout history stories about ghosts hold us in their sway. It's just a great story that I really, really enjoyed playing. Gameplay wise, it felt fairly similar to Tsushima, but of course better in almost every aspect. So that just made it just a better game overall.
Cool. Yeah, I really, really liked it a lot. And I played as I've been saying this a lot and people know, is like I went back and replayed Ghost of Tsushima. I never played the director's cut, so I replayed all of that on PS5. I played the Iki Island stuff. I platinumed it, and that was my first time playing Ghost of Tsushima since I platinumed the PS4 version back when 2020. So I didn't really remember very much of it, and I replayed it and I liked it, and I was like, okay, cool, but still a little lukewarm on it, comparable to how I feel about the greatest PlayStation games. I don't think it's in that category, in my opinion. So I went to go see Yotei, and I was wondering what we were going to get, and I was just really impressed with it. I think it's what I was describing as the classic sequel, in that it's better in every way, and I think they kept the game grounded in the same style. Obviously, a lot of reused everything in the game from Tsushima, which is good. I mean, that's smart management, good production, smart use of your budget. And that allowed them to kind of go around the edges and tweak and add things thoughtfully to the game to make it more dynamic and interesting. I love the level of vague exploration in the Ghost games, both of them, in that it's so easy to miss things, and you do miss things. And Jason, you were saying when you were going into your intro, it's like you were looking online and to find things. And when I beat it, it's not one of those games where you need to look at a guide for any reason. It's like it explains itself. You'll figure it out. Mm-hmm. But that I did start looking things up too, because I'm like, all right, I'm missing 2 pieces of armor. Like, where are they? I'm missing a bounty. Like, where is this bounty? It was the same when I looked it up. It seemed like everyone was missing that bounty, because it's like it shows up only when you do like this weird quest that you have to run into. There's a lot of organic shit in the game that keeps itself well obscured and well hidden, so that even hours after I've beaten it in game, I'm still discovering a ton of story content and things. I'm like, how did I miss this? Or like, what is this? And I was saying it's the antithesis of a Ubisoft style. You brought up Assassin's Creed. It's the antithesis of a modern, structured Ubisoft game, though I like those games. So it's not an insult about that. It's just that it's like, here's the map. Like in a Ubisoft game, it's like, there's all the fortresses and hideouts, and there's all the things, and here's all the boxes you check, and here's 5 categories of boxes, and and go get it. And this game is the same under the hood, but it doesn't say anything. And I think that that's a big move towards the mystique of the game. It doesn't really feel like that kind of game because they keep everything obscured, unless you go to the cartographer, unless you organically run into something on the map, unless you talk to a random NPC that tells you they saw something across the map and it suddenly pops up on your map. And so, yeah, in the post game, I've been really enjoying it because I'm like, wow, there's so much in this game it never showed me, though I thought I did everything. I didn't do nearly everything, and there was no real indication that was the case. You're right too, Jason, and you're both talking about it. The game is just stunningly beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful games I've ever seen, and this is a category PlayStation is well accustomed to being in. They just extract amazing levels of fidelity out of their biggest games, and they do it on, sometimes really expensively, but apparently this game wasn't made for that much money, which is interesting. And I want to get into that with Jason later too, because I think he'll have good insight into that, about how he feels about that proclamation that the game was made for a similar amount of money as Tsushima. Go ahead. Please. No, go ahead.
Oh no, real quick, I just wanted to shout out also what Jason said about the sticky platforming. I'm a huge fan of that too. It feels very Sucker Punch. That's what Infamous had. Cole would just stick onto the poles and hydrants, and it was like you can see the systems in place where this is where your feet go, but it's always satisfying to just land that. And again, that's the Sly Cooper DNA too. When you're playing, I felt that in Ghost of Tsushima too. So it's really fun to kind of see that Sucker Punch sticky platforming DNA it's still being retained in these Ghost games. That's all I want to say. Sorry.
Yeah, actually, did you guys notice any Infamous references in the game? Because there is very explicit Sly Cooper references in both Tsushima and this one. Mm-hmm. Like when you get by the way, it is cursed. The Sly mask that you can find.
Oh, yeah.
I saw this. I said, no. I don't know about that.
In the first game, there's like a trophy to like dress as Sly Cooper.
Right, yeah. And you could do a similar thing in this, where you get the fuzzy sword case and the blue dye and the mask. But I was trying to think, I said, why? Or maybe it's just super subtle and I missed it, but I didn't notice any Infamous references while the Sly one is there. I
did see an explicit Infamous reference in like you were saying in the first game in Ghost of Tsushima. I took a screenshot of it. It would be on my PlayStation app. Is like the logo that's on in the third game that's on whatever that guy's name is. I can't remember what's the character's name
Jin?
in it. No, in Infamous 3.
Delson Rowe?
Man.
Troy Baker's character.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Baker,
like
yeah.
there's a symbol like that's on him on his, and like that I found that symbol in the world. And I did take a screenshot of it. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. But yeah, I didn't, unless I'm missing it, I didn't feel any, there could be a side quest maybe that references it or something.
Delson Rowe.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Delson Rowe.
I knew it was a D name. I said it wasn't Dale.
Delson is a weird name. Yeah.
Delson Rowe. Yeah, I do like the referential stuff. Dude, one of my favorite parts of this game, I mean, we'll get into it if we want to later, is like I loved the whole reference mission to Ghost of Tsushima. I thought it was fucking awesome. Like way cooler, way deeper than I ever thought it was going to be. Mm-hmm. And because I thought they would be like, a little tip of the cap somewhere to it. But it's been 300 years in the game.
And there is early on, right? Before you get to that point, there is something on a sheet of paper that you find that says, oh yeah, the Shogun wants you to think this is what happened. But what really on Tsushima Island, what really happened was there was one guy who really, the first shinobi that actually made it happen. I said, oh, cool, there's the reference. And then you find that other side mission. You said, all right, hell yeah.
Yeah, the first shinobi, which I think might be the name of that mission that you end up getting later. Anyway, all right, so yeah, and I thought I was, again, I think I don't like scoring games, but if I were to give Ghost of Tsushima a score, it would probably been like an 8 point something or whatever. I think Yotei is more like a 9. I think it's a really wonderful encapsulation of the potential of this particular IP, this product, and now it's time to move on. But I think they did themselves really proud. By the way, I think Atsu is a great character. The revenge story is way more interesting than the story about honor and fallen honor and kind of ruining your reputation and stuff, which was tough. Like Ghost of Tsushima was a little tougher to chew on from that perspective, because it was like, damn, dude, like Jin's really fucking up, man. Like he's not meaning to, but like he gave the secret weapon to the Mongols, and like they're going to succeed, and they're still using poison on the mainland because of him, and he's outcast forever. And that was kind of tough. It's like, damn, this one I thought was a little bit more manageable, though it made you go through the story of incredible revenge, violence. And I think in contrast to The Last of Us Part 2, which is of course the famous Sony game about revenge, it's not about cyclical revenge. Like no. I think it's a little reductive to say that those games are similar. Like The Last of Us Part 2 is about out of control violence, like bending in on itself. This is about like, what is the cost of, like, this is a much more literal, like, what are you willing to spend?
Yeah.
And that's not what The Last of Us is, because in that game, no one has anything to lose anymore. It's different.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jason.
That's an interesting point, because I was thinking about this. People going into this game said, oh, every Sony game is a story about revenge. I was like, okay, whatever. I'm still going to play it. And I played Last of Us Part 2, and just remembering I don't have, and maybe that's not the point. You talk about it, and Spoz will say games don't have to be fun, but there is something about it that is just oppressive the whole way through. Where when I got through playing it, even though I thought the gameplay and gunplay was awesome, I got on the other side of it. I said, I never want to play this game again, ever. And then I'm playing through this game, which is similarly dark. I mean, you basically commit genocide in Hokkaido in this game. That's kind of what's going on.
Yeah, totally.
And it is super dark, but there was never a point in the game where I wasn't having fun. Like, it always had this sense of fun. And maybe that was the color palette. Maybe it was the characters. Maybe it was some levity. Like, it was just, it's an interesting take on a revenge story, while at the same time maintaining the fact that this is a fun game. We're trying to say something, but at the same time, you're not depressed all the time. You'll be depressed when we want you to be depressed, but then we'll get you back out there and look at some pretty pink flowers and stuff.
It's funny, because when I heard an interview with Nate Fox, and he was saying we were originally going to call Ghost of Yotei genocide on Hokkaido. and then he said,
did he really say that?
No.
Oh, okay.
That would be awesome if Sony made a game with the name genocide in it, though.
I know, yeah.
That would be fucking sick.
That'd be wild.
Oh my God.
They've done very little press for this game, by the way, comparable to what I think they should be doing. They've done a few interviews, but they just don't say anything anymore, which is cool. It's a little bit of a mystique around it.
Yeah, there's not much. Yeah. When you read the interviews, there's not much being said also, right? Which is a little frustrating. But contrary to what Jason said, I definitely felt what Jason said when I finished Last of Us 2, and I was like, I never want to play this story again. And then I replayed Last of Us 2 so much, actually. I've throughout the years, I've been replaying it like I'm Kanye West for some reason, who absolutely loves those games. And because they're just fun action games. I'm able to compartmentalize the cool revenge story from all the depressing shit that happens afterwards. I can still be Ellie and be like, oh yeah, I'm totally getting my revenge like Atsu, and it'll be satisfying like Atsu does. But that's what I like about Ghost of Yotei's revenge story is that it is a satisfying one. It is one that is meant to satiate your thirst for revenge, as opposed to kind of question it or scold. I like the way Colin described Tsushima. It's just a very tough and chewy story, and that's obviously what the Last of Us 2 is. It's gonna break your fucking teeth when you try to chew on it. But with Atsu's revenge story, it's just nice and smooth like chocolate.
I was looking up a little bit of stuff about Hokkaido, and so it's called what, Ezo in the game still. They haven't called it Hokkaido yet, because I didn't know anything really about this. Like, I always looked at Japan as like a unified country going back longer. It's more like Italy, if you know your history, where it's like the reunification of this country has actually been much more recent. And there is like the Ainu, which they get into, the Ainu, that those are like the native people of Hokkaido, or Etso as they called it back then. And it was like a far away kind of like colony, which is not unlike Tsushima. So they never really had it under their yoke. And it wasn't until the Meiji Reformation, I guess, in the 1850s, 1860s, that it even really became part of Japan. So it's actually, and I actually learned that recently about a few other parts of Japan too. So it's interesting. The game takes place 330 or so years after Tsushima. So Tsushima takes place in 1274, which is actually a really important date in Japanese history. This takes place in 1603, which is less important, actually. And that's one of the things that I like about the game, is that Japan has a deep internal history. And obviously at this point they were closed off to the West largely, with the exception of some trading with the Portuguese and all the rest. So it's cool. It feels mysterious. And one of the things that I liked about it was kind of getting, at least any real life history in the game is lost on me. I'm sure there's like references to things that are happening on the mainland or whatever, but Ghost of Tsushima was predicated on alternate history, like literally alternate history. And for people that don't know, in 1274 in the real world, the Mongols do invade Japan, but they never land. Their ships get destroyed in some sort of typhoon. This is where I believe the term divine wind, kamikaze, comes from. And Tsushima posits that that doesn't happen, and that they actually land, and this is like what transpires afterwards. So the Mongols come back, I think 10 years later in the real world, and then they do land, and then they get fucked up again, and they never really occupy any part of Japan. So I like that they kind of unraveled themselves from that, because I just didn't feel like it was necessary. It's such a unique and interesting place. We don't need to have some sort of event. If we think about Assassin's Creed with Assassin's Creed 3, it's like, well, this is like colonial America, but it's like the revolution. And it's like, well, you don't really need to even do that, because it's just kind of interesting. And that's what they lean into. So it feels organic and natural. And I really, really enjoyed that.
I had to look up the Ainu people right when you meet them in the game, because I wanted to know if that makeup job was actually accurate, and that's what they did. And sure enough, it is. That is what they look like.
Yeah, it's like Kefka. It's like Kefka-esque.
Yeah,
like more low key Kefka.
It was very interesting, but it was cool. I love it when you play a game like this and you learn some things that you didn't know before. I said, oh wow, there was actually, you think of Japan as this very homogenous society. And he said, no, actually, there's a whole part of the country that also has this native thing. It's like, it seems like every country has one of these things going on, where it's like, oh yeah, here are the natives that are oppressed. It's like, fantastic, great. America has that. I know New Zealand has that. I got a friend who lived there for a while, and there's native Canadians, there's native everywhere, right? So that was an interesting thing to learn as well.
Korea famously is the nation with the longest stretch of slavery in human history. and is mostly just enslaving Koreans.
Oh God.
It's just like, hell yeah, let's just enslave our own people.
Isn't there a Bobby Lee clip about that?
Yes, there is a Bobby Lee clip where he's saying like, but Koreans haven't enslaved anybody, and
Yeah.
like his other co-hosts are you serious? It was like, really?
It's like the worst. It's like the exact opposite.
They Google it, and then the Wikipedia entry is worded in a way to like completely like destroy and decimate his argument whatsoever. Where it's like it's the longest uninterrupted chain of slavery in human history.
Oh my God. It's messed up. But I will say also on that point, I've actually been to Hokkaido. So when you go to so there's a point where you're like in the Otaru areas, and I said, "Oh wow, I was actually there." So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is cool. I love that kind of thing in a game. Yeah, I've never been there.
Yeah, I went during the winter, and I went to school in Buffalo, and my buddy who I went to grew up in Detroit. Between the two of us, we've never seen more snow in our entire lives. It was
interesting.
Unreal. They don't bother cleaning it. I busted my ass like twice in Sapporo, but it was worth it because they built all these ice sculptures for their snow festival. Went for that. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I was reading a little bit about it. Like only 5 million people there. And yeah, Sapporo is the capital of it. And yeah, fully integrated in like around and after 1869. So yeah, not even really a long time part of Japan proper, which is pretty cool. And yeah, they had obviously Mount Yotei is an inactive volcano. Japan, prominent part of the Ring of Fire, as I'm sure we all know, around the Pacific Ocean. It hasn't erupted since 1000 BC though. And I did enjoy the mission of actually going there. There's a couple things you could do on the mountain, and it's cool. Like that, you actually go to like the dormant crater.
I like it
of the volcano, which is really eerie and scary. And I was thinking, I'm like, damn, there's the memories are probably lost over time, or there's just myths or whatever. But it's like this could just pop off at any time, I guess. But everyone's like just climbing and hanging around there. I always think that's interesting because even with Mount St. Helens, I think in 1980, like someone ended up dying, even with those warnings. So they must have been catastrophic for the primitive peoples of Hokkaido.
Yeah.
Okay. What do we think of, I mean, we can obviously go in any direction and we will pull at all sorts of different threads. I'm curious what we thought of Atsu, the protagonist. Jason, let's go to you first. Do you have anything you'd like to say about this tragic female woke character?
Yeah, I was debating if I wanted to make a Ghost of Woke-tay joke. So there it is. There's myself. She's great. I thought she was awesome. Really great character growth throughout the game. I played the game with, I even brought it up when I was on Summon Sign after I only played it for about an hour. I played the game entirely with Japanese audio. But so I didn't hear Erika Ishii's performance, though I know that it's widely been praised. So I'm sure it was awesome. There's just something about having a bunch of Japanese people speaking in English, which is just weird to me. So that's why. But I do understand. And I remember in an interview, she said, Erika Ishii was like, yeah, it's me. And she's like looking at me speaking Japanese is kind of trippy or something like that, because the original language is English. So fair enough. I understand what I did, but I still stand by the decision to do it. And I thought she was just really well acted, and the character and her growth was awesome. Like really, really awesome character. I don't really have any complaints, and I didn't really think too deeply about the character otherwise. I just thought as a vehicle for this revenge story, the motivation is quite clearly there. I think anybody would have that motivation beyond her character itself. The way it starts off, it's like your family's dead, go kill and those guys did it. Now you got to kill them. Fantastic. Great. She's awesome for that. Her reaction, like you really do get the struggle. Like I think the moment her character hit the best was, it's a kind of cliche moment, but it's so well done that I loved it, which was when the castle is being invaded at the end, and your brother is like, come on, you got to come with us. And she's like, oh, but I got to kill these guys. And you're like, go with the brother. And you know the decision she's going to make. You know what has to happen at this point, because your completion's only showing 85%. So there's more game to be played. So obviously she's going to kill these guys. And I thought that whole sequence of events was so well done, and just speaks to the strength of how they built this, like, clearly, driven character by revenge, but obviously trying to struggle with it as the journey goes on. So yeah, really well executed, even if it was, I shouldn't say by the numbers, but I thought it was just like, it was just a great character. It's a great video game protagonist. I don't know a better way to say it.
Where are you on this, Gene?
I'm glad you mentioned the moment with the brother, choosing between going with the brother to save his daughter or to fight, one of the Yotei six that just appears on the shore. I was the complete opposite. I was like, you just met this bitch last week. You don't know who this girl is. Fucking go kill the ghosts, the Yotei six. You got him right there. They're all there.
Mhm.
Just kill. You don't know this girl. Who fucking cares? And she makes the right choice.
Yeah.
She makes the right choice. She's like, fuck it. I don't really know this girl. I'm gonna stay and fight. And that's why I love Yatsu. I don't know, Colin, what are you going to say?
I was going to say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just going to say, like, what's funny about that choice is that it is a heavy choice, and you do wonder in the moment, like, oh my god, like what's going to happen? But she actually pays no consequence for it, so it kind of undercuts the because Jubei doesn't die in that situation.
It's fine. Yeah, he's fine.
Like, Kiku doesn't die. Like he dies later, unrelated to like by getting involved in the fight later on. So in fact, like.
Yeah,
it kind of undercut it in the. So looking backwards, I guess what I'm saying is that doesn't feel as heavy.
Well, it creates a chain reaction, right? And I guess the passage of time is a little unclear when you have these kind of games, right? You don't actually know what the progression of time is over the course of days, right? But in that situation, like because they got captured, it's like you kind of save those people and then you go after them and continue your quest afterwards.
Yeah,
that's how I saw it, which is because Jubei theoretically going. It's right when he gets captured and they do this whole chase and then they go back to the farm or to the house. Mm-hmm. And that's why he gets got, right? Like,
yeah, because that's why he had to get involved or whatever like that. But still,
right.
But that was my impression of Atsu. I was like, she's so based, she barely cares about the kids. She's focused on the mission. I love Atsu. I played in the English actually, which is surprising because I'm exactly like Jason. I think it's weird to play such a heavily Japanese game in English, but this game is written by Washingtonians and it is written in English. And I wanted to hear Erika Ishii's performance. I thought she was fucking fantastic. She has replaced the Expedition 33 cast as my vote for performance of the year. In terms of just the amount of range and the emotions that she hit or whatever. One of the things I really loved about Atsu is that like the revenge story is just a little it's pretty by the numbers, right? But what I liked about it is, and this is also by the numbers, but it's effective. The way they do it is the way the flashbacks would keep going in and out every single time throughout the whole story. So you never know really the whole story about what happened that night when her family died. And as you're going through the Yotei 6, she keeps flashing back to little details, just kind of, echoing like how compartmentalized trauma can be, that you don't really want to think about it until you have to. And then every time you see a new scene from the flashback, it would always inspire me to continue to keep going for revenge, because it's like, yeah, I want to have revenge, but like as I'm like 30 hours into the game, like do I still got it in me? Do I still want to do this? What's the motivation here? And then you go to see what the spider did, and you're like, oh no, fuck the spider. This guy's a piece of shit. Let's just keep going. So I really thought that the game was so effective in using, really standard formulaic stuff, but just doing it really effectively, and that's what I really appreciate. And Atsu has complete character development. She does have a whole arc towards the end of the game where she has a reason to live, or she has a reason to fight for, but beyond just revenge, and she's able to learn that, and she has a whole cast of characters. I enjoyed every single little twist in every single Yotei assassination too. The discovery of Jubei being still alive, it's fairly predictable. I figured he was still alive, but it's like, oh, it's you. Yeah, okay. That's awesome. It was always pleasant every single time a twist that I kind of felt coming up, but it was always done in a way that was interesting and a little different and just a little surprising enough to keep me engaged. Of course, the Kitsune twists, of who her real identity was and her own role that night kept things interesting too. So yeah, just a really great character. And as Colin said, she's hot. You know, every time she went to sauna, I'm just like, what more do you want? She looks great. It's a great butt.
Yeah, yeah. There's so much. I said that on Summon Sign. I was like, enough with the closeted homosexuality. It's 2025. Like, we don't have to. You don't have to stay in the closet. If you don't find this attractive, that's okay. Mm-hmm. You don't have to project it on the rest of us. Mm-hmm. Atsu is a really dynamic and interesting character comparable to Jin. And this was a major thing that I walked away from. One of the major enhancements, I think, from Tsushima to Yotei is really just the enhancement of the story and the character and like the feel of it. I think Jin was a tragic character in his own way, but he experienced loss, you know, as a kid and all of the rest, but he had a blessed, rich upbringing. It's part of his fall from that world that sets him apart, and it's about the unraveling of that and how he kind of sacrifices it all at the altar of like, it's like the Americans fighting the British in the Revolution and like trying to kill officers and doing like kind of dirty things and refusing to stack up on a field and fight face to face. Like they didn't do that because it was considered ungentlemanly and weird. It's some of the first guerrilla warfare ever in the world, but it was also necessary to win. And so he sacrificed it on the battlefield. And I think that that's really cool. And he becomes, as we see in Yotei, kind of the reclusive first shinobi character that lives on his own, and they, you know, you find the remains of this life that he lived. I think Atsu is different because she never had much of a chance. And the more you learn about her upbringing before things happen, and then when she ultimately leads Saito right to her dad and sets this all off, is like, this is like horribly tragic and unfair. And I always bring up Austin Powers and Scott Evil because I just love it when he's like, Dr. Evil refuses to kill Austin Powers like ever. He just like does weird shit to him. And Scott Evil's like, come on, we'll kill him together. Like, I'll go in my room, I'll get my gun, we'll kill him. Like, I get that kind of vibe with like all the shit. It's like they just leave, everyone's just alive, you know, except for the parents, obviously, but the two siblings are alive. It's like, kill them, just make sure they're dead. Like, why does everything have to be so dramatic? It's like the ginkgo tree's on fire and she's stabbed through the chest and I turn around and I never look back. It's like, just like, do it, you know, or not. So anyway, the siblings are lucky that they survive. And so you have this greater meaning to throw away whatever small vestiges of reality that she was tethered to after that, because she never really existed in the real world after that. She went to the mainland and fought. And I like the whole ambiguity of what she was doing. I think that's really cool. I don't know if they'll get into that in an expansion or if there's documentation in the game that I missed that really like gets into that. But I like how it's always kind of glossed over about like where, like what she was really doing and training. And, you know, it's just kind of this vague thing of trying to survive. I guess as a Ronin in some way on the mainland. And yeah, so I dig that. And I also like that her upbringing, as you learn more about her parents, Kengo and Yone, it's like one part warrior, one part artist. The blacksmith, the musician. And again, how that melds together for her and that makes a really cogent character. I'm surprised by people's problems with the character, although again, I don't believe that the problems exist with the character, but rather the actress. I know that some people can't see past that. I wouldn't agree politically, obviously, with this actress at all. She'd probably hate me. But the idea of art is like, I have to look past things, and people have to look past things about me all the time if they want to enjoy the things we put out. And that's not really that difficult for me to do. It's like kind of just the way it's been. It's the marketplace. The farmer that grows the wheat that makes the Wonder Bread that I eat or whatever. I don't eat a Wonder Bread, but just as an example, he probably hates a lot of people, you know, but we still eat the bread. Like, it's just the way it goes. It's commerce. It's capitalism. So it's not that big of a deal. And I don't need to make a big stink out of it about it like some other people do. But I do think a lot of the problems with Atsu actually are not grounded with the game itself, because I think she's a pretty well written, pretty fleshed out, pretty deep character, even with all the Uncharted 3 style flashbacks. I thought they were fun. They never really, when it came in, I was like, oh, are you going to be annoying? And it never really was.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was always pretty good.
And the effect is awesome. Like the effect when you transition into the past. It was just very cool, very quick, very brief. And yeah, it never outstays its welcome. I think the point of people not and I could be bold and just say, I would argue that probably, if not all, close to all the people that are criticizing this character they have not played the game, and they have no interest in playing the game. So
yeah, it's too bad. I mean, I don't really. It's funny, even with my own combativeness about this game with some people in the community, people think it's like, why are you so protective of this game? I'm like, I'm not. I'm tired of stupid people, and this is a good front to fight on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because there's just this idea that a small segment of people feel a certain way, and therefore that has to be projected onto everyone and ruin everything that it touches. And I just don't think it's appropriate. I think it's weird. And it should be called out more. So it's not so much that I'm in love with this game. I think it's one of the best games of the year. It's not my game of the year or anything like that. Definitely not. But it's just more like, what is everyone's problem at this point? It's not even about like, let people enjoy things. Like, it's not even that kind of annoying meme. Like, I don't know. Like, you can criticize things or whatever, but like, at what cost? Like, what are you doing? And it's what you were saying. I only give a shit about people who play game, like their opinions. If you not only played this game, but play games. And I was talking to someone recently about that, where it's like, just so many people that don't play games or play very few games comparable to where they should be. And it's like, why would I care about what you have to say about these things if you're not even immersed in them? It would be like me, like listening to a football podcast, and then they were like, all right, so what'd you guys think of the games this week? And it's like, oh, I didn't have time to watch them.
I don't watch any of them. Yeah.
I just read about one of them. I have a real big problem with this call that apparently happened that was very controversial, and I wanted to talk about that. It's like, that's not the way it goes. It's okay to not play games. It's okay to not be immersed in them, but don't get on the other side of the coin and then pretend that you have anything valuable to say about it.
Yeah,
that's annoying to me.
Especially Sucker Punch. Like they were actually they were on the forefront of diversity in games. They put a character in a wheelchair.
That's right.
How many other games you play as a guy in a wheelchair? He was a turtle, but
he was a turtle, but he was
Bentley.
You're right, and they even made a it was a spinoff, I think, made it externally, but there was even a game about Bentley too, Hack Pack or whatever.
Oh yeah, there was that. Plus, like Carmelita Fox was definitely Latina.
Yeah, exactly, and I just think beyond that. I mean, that's an important point too. And by the way, I think that there's a different, because a lot of people think I'm woke or whatever now. And there's like the differentiation, I think there is a differentiation, I think, between this game and the way I feel about Assassin's Creed Shadows, which I think is weird. I think it's fucking weird. But I don't think it's weird to play as a female shinobi or whatever. It's cool. At some point it becomes like, you have to lean into like the fantasy of it. I think the thing that I feel like is if we start having this realistic expectation of women, right, and men and their roles. I always bring up Battlestar Galactica about how that series makes no differentiation between the genders, and it's really cool. Like, they all share the same bathroom, they all like do all the same shit together. Like, they never really talk about the difference between them, and that's neat. But it's not really realistic. Like, you have to imbibe the fantasy of it, and it's fun. So it's like, would a person of Atsu's stature really be the ultimate samurai? Probably not. No, I don't think so. I think she'd probably get fucking obliterated. But it's fantasy. It's not real.
Game. It's a video game.
It's a video game,
exactly,
right? And now people will say like, okay, so what's the difference between that and Shadows? Now, I'm only speaking for myself. I'm not speaking for anyone else. It's like, well, the fantasy is that you find the only non-Japanese person in Japan and make the game about him, your first game in Japan about him. It's like, that's fucking weird. Sorry, that's a virtue. That, in my opinion, is a virtue, quote unquote, virtue signal.
Well, here's the thing, though, too. As an Assassin's Creed lore nerd, like, I have a huge problem with that game, because like all the Assassin's Creed history is tied up in this one guy now, too. Just coincidentally, he just happens to land in Japan, and now his mission is something to do with the greater Assassins versus Templar fight that has been going around literally since fucking Adam and Eve, right? So that's why it's like, and then so it's like, okay, so what's the story behind this guy, right? And then you play the game, and it's like, oh, the story fucking sucked, actually, too. So it's like I don't know if you finished the game, Colin, but it's just
Assassin's Creed. I never played Shadows.
Yeah, the Shadows, because it sucked. I was like, okay, let's give it a chance. Let's see what the story is about. and then you find out what it's about, and it's like, I hate this story. This is one of the worst Assassin's Creed stories of all time. And you didn't need to make this. You didn't need to make the whole thing about this thing and this guy and how he got involved. It sucks. It was not. You tried and it wasn't good. So that's what makes it suck too.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I want to be, because I didn't play the game, so I can't speak to the story. Mm-hmm. But I will say, from my perspective, I just think it's funny if you just encapsulate it like this. It's like they're in the boardroom and they're like, all right, we're finally going to make the Japanese Assassin's Creed game, and they're like, okay, cool, like millions of Japanese people, all these amazing stories to tell. We're going to set it all. It's like, what person, like, who's going to be the protagonist? Or like, oh, the only black guy in Japan. Mm-hmm. Like, that's fucking weird. I'm sorry. That's just weird. It's different, but it's a fantasy, and you could lean into the same argument if you want to. I think the point I'm making with so again, if the story is bad in Shadows, that just makes it even worse.
Yeah. But my broader point is that the fantasy sucked too. So
yeah, right. So I don't want to undercut that. That's a good point.
Yeah.
But I just find games more interesting. You can think about a game like Mass Effect. It's like a female Commander Shepard. Would do great. Like, a lot of people play as the female Commander Shepard. It's like, let's not overthink it. Uh-huh. In a fight, would you want like the burly Halo Master Chief character in the fight against the Krogan? Probably. But like, you can probably just see through all that. And I just think that this is why I hate the culture war around wokeness, as it were, however you define that. And why I hate that word is because it doesn't allow for subtlety. Mm-hmm. That there is weird shit and things that need to be called out all the time. But not everything is weird shit. And not even things that seem aligned with the weird shit are in fact weird shit. But everything gets sucked in. And so like Concord and Yotei, it's like, come on, man.
What is it?
What a disservice to the argument.
Yeah. Also, can I talk about, because I watched that stupid debate between you and JT, right? And of course, like one of the things he kept hammering is, but she's an activist though, and that's a dangerous road to go down, to have activists in your game. And it's like, okay, so you don't believe that video games are art, because if you did believe that, you would know that that art is about activism. Like you don't not have activists in art. The greatest art in the 20th century were all done by activists. The greatest films are done with an activist point of view. So it's not like this is a game written by Erika Ishii,
Right, exactly.
It's not like she's like, Antifa is my wife, and now I'm gonna write a whole game about how Antifa is my wife in the Ghost of Yotei game. No, she's just a fucking actor. She's doing what she's fucking told. That's it.
Yeah. And the odds are, any actor you find will also have very, very different political opinions on. Like, you want to find, I don't know, if it's a lady, it has to be who's the woman who got fired from Mandalorian?
Do you want Gina Carano as your fucking samurai?
They'd like it.
You want to talk about realism? Okay, there you go. Here's Gina Carano as the last samurai, as the Ghost of Yotei. There's your realism right there.
They'd be into it. I just got a sneaking suspicion.
That'd be so fucking funny if they were like, "Oh yeah, no, we love this shit." Ooh.
Yeah, exactly.
I wish there was a multiverse.
Once it comes to PC,
only reason why I want a multiverse is just to see what would happen if Gina Carano became the Ghost of Yotei instead, for some reason. PlayStation just got really stupid, and they're like, "Yeah, let's just hire this chick for fucking Ghost."
They did a hard pivot when Trump won. We're like, "Oh no,
exactly."
She needs to be more like. We need someone who's more appealing, but we can't rewrite the whole character. So let's get someone in their interests.
I just find the whole argument I'm not even really sure what anyone's arguing about. Like, what's funny about with that particular argument is, like, my only argument is that the Circana data is accurate. When you really reduce it back to what I'm even saying, that's it. Like, everything else.
People don't understand. There was I saw a Reddit post the other day, and there's a very small microcosm of it, but someone was saying that, oh, look, Persona 3 Reload bombed on Switch 2. Here are the first week sales numbers, physical, from Famitsu. And it's like, okay, got it. So we're looking at a decreasing trend of physical sales across the board on a game that is a year old or over a year old at this point, and 90% of the sales are going to come from digital, and you're not even talking about the biggest market by any stretch of the imagination. So what's the conversation here? Because everybody was just trying to say, this is what happens when you release an unoptimized game on a key card. Okay, that could be part of it. But you're also looking at the absolute smallest piece of data to justify your argument. So yeah, it was insane. That was an absolutely crazy conversation. But some people just, either, I think I was watching, I don't know, was it Gene, when you were talking to Jaffe about it? It was like the idea of does he actually believe it, right, or is he that dumb, right? That's the real question. Because you're right. It's like, no, this is literally what it is. Hey, here are the caveats because this is what they say.
Right, exactly. Just read like I said, just read the legend, and you'll see.
It's infuriating.
Yeah, it's just. Again, this goes into the argument of like, I also like conspiracies, but not everything's a conspiracy. It's what we were saying earlier. Like, I also like to take the piss out of the weird woke shit sometimes, but not everything is the weird woke shit. You have to like sometimes just back and then like the 6 degrees of separation that you encounter with, it's like, so why are you mad at this game? And it's like, oh, because the female samurai is this person. This person is on this social media platform. On this social media platform 5 years ago, she said this. It's like, okay. On the other hand, I understand people, like some people can't detach from these things, and I understand. I saw Jennifer Lawrence, I think is her name, the chick that from Hunger Games, right? The actress. Mm-hmm. I'm not really a movie person very much, but I saw she gave an interview recently where it was really interesting, where she's like, I've come to realize, and a lot of us have come to realize, that no one cares what we have to say about politics, and in fact, we're just alienating our audience. And so like, don't come to us for this kind of thing anymore. And I thought that was so refreshing and so interesting. She said obviously more eloquently, and they went on further than what I just said, but that was the gist of it, is like, no one gives a shit. It just causes us problems. It alienates people from our work. It's not why we're in the space. We're here to entertain. It's not really a political thing. And so I think that's just I think that's going to become more of the norm, actually, in a lot of ways. It's just going to take time to wash out, because I think there's been such a monoculture politically in entertainment. But I think that that's kind of always been the case. And you learn to navigate around it. If there was a true, I don't want to say there's not a bias in the space against people with like right wing or conservative views, because I think there is. But if it was impossible, if it was unworkable, then I would have never made it. Right? Because I didn't start in the free space. I started in the media space, and they embraced me completely, and I became one of the biggest people amongst them. So I just think, I just think people need to wash things out more and like get to the nitty gritty and like select things carefully. And Yotei, I think, has just been caught up in this for no real reason. And so people will make any argument, like the great argument that the game is selling worse than Tsushima. It's like, yeah, I'm sure it is. There's a series of reasons why that would be.
The problem is that they make every game about this, though. It's been like this for the past 2 years. Every fucking game has to be some kind of a discourse for a couple months. It's exhausting.
So, anyway. and then you'll say things like, and I understand that like stupider people are not able to do like second and third like level reasoning, right? Like you have to make a little foundation, then you make a piece of reasoning on top of that, then you make a piece of reasoning on top of that. I know that's a lot to ask for some people, but then they'll say things like, oh, leaked stats show the game's down 16% in sales, and I'm like, in unit sales. So I'm like, okay, cool. There are 40% fewer PS5s than there were PS4s. So what your numbers are saying is that the game is actually on a per capita basis selling better than Tsushima. And then that's just like, cope
fanboy,
and it's like, I don't know, man, like that's just math.
The goalposts.
Moving it's like, all right, okay.
Yeah.
But then you have to understand, like, they're not able to make a foundation and then reason on top of the foundation and so on and so forth. So like when you make an argument like that, they honestly don't get it. It's not even that they're trying to be dickheads, like they don't get it.
Part of me thinks they just don't care. It's like it's just part of the game. It's a team sport thing. That's their team.
Sure. Well, anyway, second best-selling game on PSN in October. We're still waiting on sales numbers. I assume they would say something. I mean, I said this a while ago, is that they would say something in their next financial report, although their next financial report will be for the fiscal quarter before Yotei comes out. So I actually don't know if they'll say anything about it for a while, but they didn't say anything about Helldivers for 3 months. That's what everyone seems to understand. It's like if it was a big success story that they would brag about, it's like they would say something. I'm like, they didn't say anything about Helldivers, which I thought was weird. And I think it's the sign of a new shift because they used to talk about sales all the time. That's definitely true. All right. Let's see. What did we think of the Yotei 6, the antagonists? This is my kind of thing. I love enemy lieutenants. I always said that. Like, that's my thing. Love that shit.
Yeah.
Love you have the big guy and then you have Dr. Wily and his robot masters, right? You have Count Dracula and all of his minions and all that. I love that kind of shit. Or Metal Gear. I mean, Metal Gear is a perfect example of that. G.I. Joe with Cobra is a perfect example of that. So we have our guys here. Gene, what did you think of the Yotei 6, the group of rogue samurai trying to take over Etzo?
I loved it. This is why I love them more than Yotei or more than Tsushima, because it has a real structure, whereas Tsushima again was just kind of ebbing and flowing along with the story that I feel like Sucker Punch. I understand why people like Jinsekai's and Tsushima's story, because it feels like that he was fighting for something larger than himself. And if that's the kind of story that you want, then that's the kind of story you got in Tsushima, and you would prefer that story, right? But I just feel like Sucker Punch didn't really know how to handle that kind of story all that well. And it didn't really move in the way that Yotei does. And they were able to smartly structure behind this, lieutenant and leader type structure. And it just made it all the more effective. Each one was slightly sympathetic, but not so much. Like it's a finely tuned formula of like there's a little sympathy for the Oni. It's like, oh, you see that he is like a real warrior, stuff like that, but also fuck him because of what he did to my family. And then you see the Kitsune, and that was an interesting little thing. The snake is complete, like he was just the intro character, right. Which was a great intro, by the way, too. Of course, I thought I love the way that. That's, again, another piece of why Yotei is just a better game than Tsushima. Tsushima, you do the war battle where it's mostly scripted, and then you're out, and then some chick wakes you up, and then she's like, "Oh, you have nothing. Why don't you go sneak around and go find his horse or whatever?" And then boom, title drop. Versus Ghost of Yotei, Atsu is gonna stand menacingly in front of a bunch of scared men, and she's gonna kill them and die herself, and then she's gonna come back to life, and then you get to witness the mythology of the ghosts come to life because she got her first kill with the snake. And then the title drops. Like, that is just more proactive storytelling that just keeps moving forward, as opposed to like, here's just a bunch of stuff that happens to Jin. Now you got to figure out your way out of it. Versus Atsu has a goal: kill this fucker. You do it, and then the game starts. And it's so the wheels of this game are just moving forward, and the Yotei 6 are part of it. I did wonder. I wasn't the biggest fan of her letting the spider go. The very last son, the last surviving son. It was fine. But also, you could have just killed him, and nobody would have. It
would have been funny if they let it play out, like when you let out when you kill the last soldier in a group, and then they tell you something, and they run away, and you can kill them.
Yeah, just fucking kill them.
They should have done it just like that, and then you can just take a shot at them.
Yeah. Tell me where the fucking boat is, and where everything is, and then I don't know, just fucking kill. Because he might want revenge too. He might get in his feelings and be like, "Oh, you fucking killed my dad," even though I really hated my dad at the moment. I didn't care. You still killed him, so now I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna kill your niece or whatever like that. It's just like I would be like, if I was Atsu, I'd be like, I played The Last of Us 2, no survivors. Fuck this
no
guy.
Survivors.
Yeah.
Absolutely, totally, dude. That's so funny. One of the things that I loved about playing as Atsu versus Jin as well was Tsushima still has vestiges of Infamous in it, where they're trying to, and this really was pronounced when I replayed it, where I was like, I don't even remember it being this heavy, where it's like, you'll start doing shit in the game and they'll be like, well, you shouldn't be doing that. Like, but like, there's no choice. So it's like, it's like the Infamous style, like, is it good or is it bad? but they don't really deviate from the game. They just have little gameplay beats where it's like, if you start assassinating too many people silently, like in the beginning of the game, and you're like with your uncle or someone else, they'll be like, oh, what are you doing? Like, that's crazy. And then if you just go back to the checkpoint and play it again through and actually just go violently through it with honor, in quotes, they don't say anything. They kind of just get rid of that in this game, which I think is cool because as it was said, it's like, yeah, there's a right and a wrong way to do it, but these guys are crazy and everyone understands that. So it's what Jin didn't realize, or Jin did, but I guess his uncle and others didn't realize about the Mongols. And by the way, the vestiges of Infamous go right through the end of Tsushima with the ending of like making a choice. And there's really nothing like that here either, because it's more of though the structure of a non-linear game, as we said, like a very vague, un-Ubisoft non-linear game, there is a direction through it, which I think is kind of cool.
I am so happy they do not give you a choice at the end of this game, and that the only choices are, which are kind of crazy, like which horse do you want at the beginning? Mm-hmm. Which horse did you guys choose?
I chose the black horse, I think, or the dark.
I chose the same horse. Like, yeah, like this is my bro. I'm not gonna let him go. What are we talking about?
I did the same thing too. I was like, no, I'm not letting this horse go. And hopefully they stay alive. And this time they don't. So.
Yes, thank God they didn't kill the horse. You could also choose the name of the wolf. I don't know if you guys do you remember what you chose?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember. I know I named the horse Tornado. I don't know what I named the wolf. I don't remember.
The options for the wolf's name, because I took a screenshot of that, you could go with Kiba, which means fang, Mikage, which means honorable shadow, or Shunen, which means relentless.
Yeah, I don't remember. Kage, I think I probably went with, because that's cool. Because it reminds me of what was that NES game? Kage.
Legend of Kage.
Legend of Kage.
Legend of Kage. I love that game, dude.
Yeah.
I've talked about that on the shows before too.
And when Dagan and I were kids, what did we call it? Legend of Cage.
Legend of Cage. Hell yeah, of course.
Yeah.
When I was playing Virtua Fighter 1, I didn't know Japanese. I was like 10 years old. I was like, there's Cage. Cage is my favorite character. He's a ninja. He's like Johnny Cage. You know,
good stuff. But I'm happy they don't give you a choice at the end, because this is a peeve of mine. I don't know how many people share it. I don't know what you guys think, but if you have a game that's completely linear, and then at the end, they're like, what do you think happened? Like, that's why I hate I loved Expedition 33. I'm not going to say what happens, but I will say that the game doesn't give you a choice in how anything plays out in the game. But at the end, they're like, how do you think it ended? It's like, I don't know. You told me everything else that happened up until this point. Why don't you tell me what happened?
Yeah. I'm not a big fan. That's why people are like, oh, they should have given it a choice at the end of The Last of Us Part 2. No. Like, that would have pissed me off so fucking much. If you get to choose what happens, fuck that.
Yeah. No. So I was happy they didn't give you a choice.
No, let Neil and Haley Gross decide for me.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole idea.
Yeah, they wrote this fucking thing. Tell me what happens.
Yeah, I would have done half of that shit, but you made me do that. Now you're gonna make me choose some other stuff.
Yeah.
But on the point of the Yotei 6, one of the things I want to bring up on that, because I also think the villain portrayals were awesome. Like, they were great. What's really cool is that how they framed each of the regions around them to really imbue it. So they set the tone. So when you get to the Oni and he's using fire, it's like, okay, cool. Now I'm fighting all these fire enemies. The Kitsune part, I love snowy environments in games. Just love it. So when you get there and everybody starts using all this stealth and sneaky stuff, you're like, okay, this is what this part of the 6 is like. This is how they fight. This is how they play. So that whole region. And then the first time you meet the brothers in person and they shoot people with rifles, it's like, all right, here are the guns. This is what they're about. And I thought that was a really cool gameplay reinforcement of the characters themselves that you get. So you're almost like learning more about the enemies that you're fighting through the regions and as you're playing more and more, which is pretty cool as well. The Kitsune stuff was interesting because I knew Oyuyuki was one of was the Kitsune the whole time. I'm like, something's up with this girl.
Oh, really? I was just like, oh, who is this?
But it also could be listening to people talk about the game. I think you even said at one point, oh, what'd you think about the twist? I have the twist. I'm like,
oh, yeah, did I ruin that? I'm sorry.
So, no, you didn't say what it was, but I'm like, you didn't say who it was. You didn't say when it was, But at one point, she's like leading me through these places. I'm like, why does she know so much? She's supposed to. I was like, something's up with this girl.
I thought so too. I was like, something's up with her. And then like halfway through like the second mission, I was like, oh, she's a fucking kitsune. No shit.
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I won't even front and say I ever saw it coming. I didn't. Yeah. I just thought she was like I thought there was something up with her, like where she was a spy or something. I didn't think she was one of the Yotei 6. Yeah. I thought she was, like a well-connected person with her ears open at this inn. It's an isolated part of the island, and all of travelers and everything comes through here, and she's just kind of in on it. But I know, so I won't say that I saw it. I was too stupid for that.
But even the way it played out, like I thought she was actually going to be bad. So the fact that she did defect, like I thought she was just leading you through a trap and stringing you along. I didn't think, there's another kitsune. And then,
yeah, that was a nice twist. The fact that she was a kitsune, but she was like super nice and like loving and caring, and like she felt super bad about what she was doing even that night as it was happening. Like it wasn't even like a retrospective thing. She was just like, no, this is fucked up. What are we doing? And then that was the night that broke her from Saito. I loved it.
Yeah, and it also speaks to where you can really benefit from like super high definition games, that kind of stuff. You see subtleties when you see the cutscene play out, and you see her hand like trying to soothe Atsu in the flashback before she cuts her free and says run. It's like, you can see these little things. Maybe it's like painfully obvious, but these are the kind of things that you can do now that you couldn't do like even 20 years ago, or to make it obvious. You'd have to have like really big blocky thing going like this. So I appreciate that.
I also dug the idea that there was like it's not an imposter, but like Dojin, I think was the new Kitsune's name or whatever. It was like a different person, like you were saying, and like a replacement, but the same. Like, was it? I guess it must have been known to everyone, right? Or was it known to everyone? I guess not. Like that was the whole idea, but how? It doesn't. I mean, again, you have to lean into the adventure aspect of it. It's like it doesn't really make any sense. Like the person's closest associates didn't know it was a different person. Like no one knew. It's
like when the flip happened.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Like it's because I guess from Saito's point of view, I guess they have to keep that under wraps because it would make them look really bad if there was like a defector.
Right.
So it is interesting. It is an interesting character. And by the way, I guess they introduced a little bit of nonlinearity. I don't know if I'm curious. You could do the Oni or the Kitsune in different orders, right? Like you could do that's what people had been saying, but I did the Oni first.
I did Oni first too.
Right. And then the Kitsune, but if you look at the map, it allows you to go east or allows you to go north. And you could do, I think that one. So I think they do let you go in any order at that point, or I don't want to say in any order, either order.
Either order. I think that's true because even after I killed the Kitsune, or after I killed the Oni, they were still like, oh, it's the woman that killed the snake. And I was like, I killed the Oni too, guys. You don't remember that? It's like because the game is not reactive enough to the point where it's like everyone in the world is gonna know that you killed the Oni first versus the Kitsune. So like around that portion of the game, you're the person who killed the snake, and then maybe afterwards you're like, oh, you killed half the Yotei 6.
Or maybe nobody liked the Oni, and they're just like, whatever. I don't care about the Oni. They just killed the dude I like drinking with.
Right. What else here? Let's see. Well, combat. I mean, we can talk about the actual play of the game, and there's so much to say here. It's kind of a rock paper scissors style game, which I think is fun. Again, you got to lean into the ridiculousness of it. One of the things I like is that they don't show, and this was true in Tsushima too with Jin, is that they don't show all of her weapons. There's just a real cool aesthetic to just the samurai, so like the katanas, and then suddenly she just has like a staff in her hand, or she has like the flail out or whatever, which I think is pretty neat.
I do love that you can change what's on her back, though. Whether in the options menu, you can choose whether it's the instrument or the bow and arrows or your last sheath weapon. Really, so even though she can't fit 5 weapons on her fucking back, I really love that the game allows that gives you that option to just choose how she looks and how she rolls, so you can kind of role play as her in a certain way.
I like having the shamisen on her back.
Exactly. She's a traveling musician. I love that. You know, and she just happens to have 2 twin swords that she'll fuck you up with. I love that.
Yeah, it's super cool. I did not the role play aspect of it, I guess, but like the aesthetic of it. I usually don't really give a shit, but I did like having her in that white armor
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
which was really cool. Reminded me a little bit of the first Gladiator movie with some trimmings, like fur trimmings on it. And then I just had her in like a ninja mask, like a shinobi mask all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was so neat.
The armor of the Undying.
Yeah, I think that's what it was, the armor of the Undying. And
so cool.
And and I love just having her in like a ninja mask. So like just like nothing crazy, no mask, no helmet. So like, obviously female. I like just making her look kind of cool. I usually don't give too much of a shit about that. Like in Mass Effect, I'm like, all right, bald head Commander Shepard, that's me. I don't get too crazy with it.
John Shepard, yeah.
John Shepard, right.
Yeah, that was me too. I was the Backstreet Boy Shepard. No problem.
Right.
I don't care.
He looked great. It's
he
perfectly fine.
Yeah, he's iconic. Yeah, that's his face, man. That's what Shepard looks like,
By the way, if people want to see something funny, I'm playing through Elden Ring on Sacred Streaming. We're going to do another one. I guess actually before this goes live, we'll have done another one. But we made him my character, and he is hideous. But I'm playing as a samurai, so it's covered. But like I pitch the camera underneath so you can see his fucked up face like underneath his helmet or whatever. And I'm like, got to remind who you're playing as, who's going through this adventure. But with Atsu, I tried to make her look cool.
Yeah.
All right. So the combat, Jason, what did you think of combat and playing the game? Thought it was obviously a masterclass of combat, I think.
Oh yeah, it's just fun. Like it's just fun as hell. Like Sucker Punch makes fun as hell games. And this is no exception. I don't, it's been 4 years since I played Tsushima, so I don't have that direct corollary like you do, but I just loved it. I love the different weapons. It was funny because you have so many weapons. There were many times where I caught myself thinking, oh, right, I have this. Oh, right, I could do that. And that just made it more fun. It's like, oh, right, I have this big ass sword. Let me pull that thing out and start wailing away at people. Really enjoyed the variety, really enjoyed how you kind of felt empowered. Like you can play into the rock, paper, scissors, but there's points where you just think, oh, you know what? Actually, I do feel more comfortable using this in this fight. Like I'd rather keep more distance. I'd rather focus on dodging. I'd rather focus on parrying. The way that the different, that asshole who you have to fight on the mountain, that like hardest fight in the game.
That fight was so tough. It was a Takeshi?
Fuck that guy. Yeah. I tried him for 2 hours and couldn't do it. And then
I dropped the difficulty. I won't even front. I was like,
okay. I equipped the armor that allowed you to have that removed parrying. I saw this like on a Reddit post or something. So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to do that and see how that works. It removes the ability to parry except for a perfect parry, but it makes the window for perfect parrying wider. So when I did that, I beat him in like 20 minutes.
Oh, interesting.
And that's how you do it. But it gives you that freedom, the amount of charms you get, the amount of armor sets you get. Like you truly can play this any way you want. I always start with stealth, and then fight in the last case scenario. But at the same time, if I'm walking up to a place, then my dog shows up and I'm just like, yeah, let's go. The wolf, sorry. But that's like, that's your pet. That's like your little dog.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it.
And there's just something awesome about lining up for a duel, and then the wolf lines up right next to you, ready to fuck people up. And then the satisfaction of just like the 3-hit combo where it's like kill the first guy, kill the guy, run at you, and then pull out your gun and just shoot the third guy. Like it is just mega satisfying. Everything in this game feels super satisfying to do, and that's across the board. But it's not. It's way more apparent in the fighting, and it's similar to how it sets up the backdrops with beautiful scenery and picturesque, shots. You're like, yeah, this is beautiful. The way it frames combat is also in this more cinematic way where you're always feeling hyped, like it's important. There's weight to it. And yeah, I totally dig it. There were some things I definitely used less than others, but man, it was great. And combat related, I'll say one of my issues I had with the game was this kind of comes, I guess it's part of this sticky platforming adjacent things where everything's very contextual. And there were a few times where you're trying to stealth assassinate somebody after you get the, what's the name of that thing? The Kusarigama, like the thing on the chain.
Yeah, it's like a flail. I call it a flail before. It's not even really the right word, but yeah.
Right. So you get to stealth kill people from afar. And then that makes the range of assassinating people way tighter. So there's a few times where I come in, I'm like, all right, I'm ready to assassinate them because I had the muscle memory from the prior, 35 hours of the game. And now I'm going in and I just give them a heavy slash. I was like, shit. And that actually happened right at the end when you get the jump on Saito. and you're trying to do like the intimidation thing where you like lop the head off, and instead I just go and heavy slash this guy. I'm like, oh shit, here we go. So that lasted a little longer than it was supposed to, but it happens. Minor quibble in otherwise fantastic and mega satisfying combat system.
Where are you on the combat, Gene?
I loved the Ghost of Tsushima is one of my favorite PlayStation games of all time. I loved it a little bit more than you, Colin. It was mostly because of the combat. I have always been dreaming of an open world samurai game, honestly, for my whole life. And Ghost of Tsushima kind of fulfilled that dream for me. And part of the reason why I love that and Yotei so much is because the combat system is simple, very basic, just based on parries and blocking. But it's very elegant and it looks cool. And it mirrors what sword fighting can look like and feel like. And I think Yotei does that even better. Especially with the sword fights and the duels now. They just feel so much more dynamic. They just feel so much more interesting. There's a lot more back and forth in terms of swords clashing. The way they counter you and the way you counter them. It just feels so much more like a dance than even Tsushima did. And Tsushima was already wonderfully done. I kind of miss the different stances. Actually, I kind of almost wish that she only just had two weapon styles, which is one sword and then two swords. But I do love the massive katana that she has on her back. I'm already forgetting the name of it.
Yeah, I have it written down. It's
Odachi.
Odachi. Yeah,
yes.
there it is. Yeah, the Odachi.
Love the Odachi though, because you just chop shit up. So once I got the Odachi, I was like, okay, well now I'm happy that there are more than one weapon. It's felt so good. I love how the combat just feels like. You pointed this out, Colin, where it's like when she would like stab a guy in the gut, and then like when she was like trying to cut them through, like she would just kind of drag them along the
right. Like she didn't have the strength to like totally do it. So yeah, the body would come along with her. It was really
which is so fucking brutal, and it always feels so good. So that's where that's why it's like this game isn't just like an asset reuse. Like every single piece of animation in Atsu's kit is brand new because fucking Jin didn't do that shit. And the nice thing about both Tsushima and Yotei is that when you cut somebody, it really feels like you're cutting through meat. Like even Jin had some resistance where it's like you're really trying to slice through this guy. So it just feels so cool. It makes you feel so dynamic. It's Sekiro, I think, it has the best sword to sword combat fighting ever, but I think Tsushima and Yotei are close, and they are way simpler. So in a way that where if I just want to chill with some sword fighting, I would prefer Tsushima and Yotei. Even though I think Sekiro has a cooler and more dynamic and better system. The simplicity of Yotei is just makes it so much more fun, and also the fact that it's so fluid. The fact part of the reason why I love the modern Sony game, right? Which really started when Uncharted 2. Part of the reason why I love Uncharted in the first place was the fact that it's able to mix melee combat and gun combat together. I think that was one of the most it's not revolutionary, but one of the best evolutionary steps that Naughty Dog was able to take in terms of the third-person action game genre. And Sucker Punch kind of continues that tradition, and also I love Tenchu, the old Tenchu games, and they were a nice mix of like action combat, sword to sword combat, but also stealth.
Yeah, stealth assassins.
And a Yotei stealth assassins, exactly. And Yotei and Tsushima both showcase how fluid that can be, and it's just better than Assassin's Creed Shadows. Assassin's Creed Shadows has better stealth. Definitely better stealth. There's a lot more you can do. You can crawl under the boards in a house. You can go up the candle and blow it out and stuff like that. So it's a lot more. A lot more detail. You can hide up in the roof and everything like that. Just all those options are super cool. But when it comes down to just like actual fighting, Yotei absolutely takes it. And Yotei and Tsushima both have just enough stealth to keep it satisfying. It's always I never get tired of going peeping out of the grass and just like shanking somebody. The
Sony, as I call it, the Sony grass.
Yeah, the Aloy grass, right?
Yeah, Aloy grass, the Death Stranding grass, the Uncharted grass, the Last of Us grass.
Yeah. The Last of Us grass. That's absolutely the same kind of the same grass that fucking Ellie crouches
Dude,
into.
there's the Uncharted slide introduced in this.
Yes, the fucking Uncharted slide when especially when you're up on Mount Yotei, with you're sliding all over the place. It's just like Uncharted 4, baby.
Totally.
And the squeeze. Don't forget the squeeze.
the squeeze.
And the get me up situation.
Yeah,
right?
You
got all the Sony tropes.
The hook, all that kind of stuff. There. This is. I want to ask you this before I forget, Jason, because this is what I wanted to get, and I'll get into further into the gameplay after this. But
yeah, sure.
What do you think of the claim from Nate Fox that this game cost about the same amount of money to make as Tsushima? You're a producer, you would know. I mean, you wouldn't know their details, but you have expert level knowledge on how games are funded. I mean,
yeah.
Does that sound right to you? Seems impossible to me.
Do you think it's impossible because of the scope, like how much bigger this game is?
No, I just feel like I don't know how you can, like, just even with cost of living and inflation and all of the rest, it just seems, because he used vague wording where he was like around the same. And so I'm like, does that mean, because I think we know from the leak, because I think it was in the FTC stuff that was leaked about Ghost of Tsushima's cost, was something shockingly low, like 65 million or something, which is crazy because that's literally a third is what The Last of Us Part 2 cost to make. And they came out around the same time. And so do you think he's meaning like, oh, now it costs, I can believe 100 million or something, but it just seems like really, but on the other hand, a lot of this, and again, this stands out a lot because I played them back to back. Like a lot of this shit is just grafted from Tsushima. And I'm saying like animations, little quirks, certainly a ton of assets. Even all the Fox, like every Fox animation is from the first game as an example. So that kind of cost, you cut costs here and there. Maybe it's possible. I'm curious what your thoughts are.
It's hard to say because even if you say around the same, let's say it's 10% more, you're still talking about another like $7 million, like $6.5 million. It's nothing to scoff at, right? Like that could be your QA budget alone on this thing, right? That's actually what I was thinking about because I manage a lot of the QA for our games, that kind of stuff, like who are vendors or what are the costs and those kind of things. And for our games are small, you don't need a lot of people to QA those games. And I look at this game like, Jesus, like I looked at the list and it's not just a list of internal PlayStation QAs, but I'm like, who is the external QA that they're using? What are the localization costs with the larger script and all the languages? And you're not only QAing the game, like it took, like you can literally quantify the amount of hours it took by thinking about how long it takes for a normal playthrough of this game. Like some people say they could beat it probably mainline in 20 to 30 hours, I guess, if you don't do any of the side quests or you just kind of give up on them. So you think about that, that's a week of one person's time to play through the game. And people are doing that over and over again. So theoretically, the game could have been done for probably over a year as they're just playing through it over and over and over again, fixing bugs. It's clearly the same engine. It's an evolution of the engine. These guys, we were saying some people were there since Sly Cooper. So these are guys who are, they've seen that evolution. They're more efficient at what they do working within this engine. They did the PS4 version, then they did the expansion, then they did the PS5 version. So when you say this costs about the same, where is the starting point? Is it from the knowledge of the PS5 iteration of Tsushima? Is it from, I don't know how they're actually quantifying what dollars get allocated to this budget. It's hard to say. But it's a lot. And there is a lot of, as much as bigger as the game is, it is still very much, it's an evolution of what was currently there before. Like it's an iteration of what was there before, and it's a lot more clean. It's a lot more polished. It's possible. I believe it. I mean, I wouldn't expect them to lie, especially if you're talking about strictly the internal budget against it versus external services. Then it's possible that, it probably was about the same because a lot of that underlying tech is there. And it's like, hey, let's just get our artists grinding. If they worked for 3 years, 3 years of artists to make new pretty environments, and then fill them out and do those other things, because not everything in the world is completely dynamic despite how huge it is. So I don't think it's completely unrealistic, but I was largely thinking about, my God, and I think about that now when playing any sort of huge game like this. Even you quantify the length of a game. Think about Persona 5 Royal. It would take one person 3 weeks to play through that game as a full-time job, right? And the amount of things that you can do and the things that go wrong, like it's incredible how polished this is. And I look at mostly, less about the initial grunt work and building the whole thing up from the ground up, and more so about those those polish passes at the end and making it work as smoothly as it does, especially with all the different combinations of weapons, with all the different move sets you have. Like those are the kind of things that I think of that would really factor into the budget and blowing it out.
Yeah, and the game does. I had no real technical problems with the game. It's imperfect there's some clipping and like I had this thing with one of the fox like dens or whatever, or fox hunts, and you like pet him and interact with him, and he just like clips totally through a rock or whatever, like a nearby like boulder, and so I'm like petting the boulder and doing all these things, and the boulders has legs coming out. But I'm like, that's like the craziest thing I saw. I was like, the game is really, like you're saying, it's very clean. God, the fast travel is just like,
it's awesome,
dude. It's like a dream. Like, I can't believe we used to just fast travel and like sit there. Remember like playing Fallout 3 and you just fast travel and be like, all right, and you read the screen for 20 seconds, and it just makes the game so snappy. But yeah, I was curious about that because it seems like a very efficient operation. Mm-hmm. As from my own research, it seems like Sucker Punch hasn't had any layoffs at all since right after Infamous Second Son came out, and I'm not entirely sure if that's because of the game's underperformance more than the game took too long to come out. It was supposed to be a launch game, so I think that some people just suffered because of that. But it seems like an incredibly efficient team, comparable to like I don't know how much Intergalactic costs, but based on what The Last of Us Part 2 costs, I wouldn't be surprised if Intergalactic cost $250 million plus. And it's just interesting to have these two teams going, and Sony probably does look at this team and they're like, damn, dude, like they've definitely made all of their money back already. Like it's if this is true, they've easily made their budget back and are in the black, and they must be feeling pretty good about it from that perspective. So I think they did a nice job.
Yeah, you would assume they're a more nimble operation. Like they don't have to, I don't think they obsess over perfection the way that Naughty Dog does. And that goes a long way. So if you look at it and say, this is a game, like I noticed it immediately because I brought it up when I was on Summon Sign, saying that from the jump, you notice immediately how much better the production is in this game, how much more cinematic it is. Just when people are talking, the level of detail. It's like it hits the bar that you'd expect for a PS5 game, for a Sony first party game. And then just does the rest of it. Like more of the production is in the environments and the color of the environment and those color splashes and the lighting. Like the other thing I was thinking while playing it yesterday, just doing my cleanup, I was thinking no game looks like this. None. That's awesome.
It's a very, and I speak of this as a layman. I obviously don't understand animation at all. And the dynamic of making all this stuff work, but the game is so busy. Like there's so much, it's not populated by people walking around generally or anything like that. But like you look at, it's like the grass is waving. The trees are letting go of leaves. There's like ambient pollen particles. The birds are flying in the distance. There's a deer grazing right in front of you. Like there, and the ray tracing is beautiful. Like the PS5 Pro, it like sings on it. And I look and I'm like, damn, dude, like this is so. And the weather and all, it's like, damn, what the fuck? This is like, this is why I just don't understand why we even need new consoles. I know we're going to get them. I'm excited about it. Cool, whatever. I'll be there day one. I'm going to get God. It's fine. But I look at this and I look at a game like Horizon Forbidden West or even Death Stranding 2 and others. And I'm like, this is pretty much exactly as good as it needs to be. It getting any better than this is borderline uncanny. One thing I'll say though about the budget and the budgetary constraints of Sucker Punch. And I think this is one thing that's worth noting is that this game, because you're talking about perfection and all the rest, is like this game could have used more cutscenes and more, and that's going to add tens of millions of dollars to your budget to do things like that. But if you like do another 2 hours of really fine cutscenes, think about the Final Fantasy 16 boss fights as an example. Like when you played those, you're like, oh, this is like literally a quarter of the expense probably of this game is just doing these boss fights. And they're amazing. I think that the game, I appreciate their budgetary constraints and they're kind of trying to keep it on the down low or whatever. But if the game suffers in anything, it's that there are some serious moments or gameplay moments that segue into story where I'm like, this is very stiff and weird and awkward. And that's one way where I think the game comes off as a little cheapware. And I don't think Naughty Dog would have ever.
There is one explicit point where I'm like, this looks bad. There was only one, and that is the baby bear.
Oh,
Did you remember the mission? It's an adorable mission where you save this bear, you bring it back, and when this bear starts scooting out of it's like it's on rollers. It is pretty rough looking. But it was fine. So I'm like, oh, cute, it's a little big bear, and then he slides down the little ramp with you, which was cute. And then they say, yeah, we're gonna murder this bear in a few years. Like, holy shit!
I know, that was like dark. It's like, yeah, this bear's gonna live an amazing life, and then it's ultimately got to die.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's interesting. I will say one other thing I have to complain about, and I'm going to make fun of it because I think it's so bad, is little kid Atsu's voice acting is so like the voice is so bad. I think.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
Come on, Jubei. Come on, Jubei. Let's practice some more, Jubei.
Like what the fuck is
she a
going on?
smoker? What is this?
I don't understand. And you might even, again, Jason, you would maybe have more introspection into this than I would, but it's like, what is the problem with getting children to play children in games? Like, why is it always clearly an adult doing the voices and then like modulated down or whatever, like, or modulated up? It's like, why hire a child to read the lines? Like, I don't get it. Like, there are children actors. Hire a child.
That was the best.
Doing?
That's the best voice acting since Heavy Rain, David Cage's Heavy Rain, where it's just a bunch of like French adults playing the kids, and it's like, come on, let's go play.
Yeah, or do they say origami?
Origami killer, origami. Oh my God, they found a body in the wasteland. It's like, you mean a fucking parking lot? What the fuck is a wasteland? What the fuck is this translation? The bullshit going on over here. Anyways. Yeah, come on, Jubei. We gotta practice our sword some more. Like, oh my God, they killed you, Jubei.
Or it's like,
now I'm happy I played in Japanese. I'd have to experience that.
Oh yeah, it's like
maybe they got a Japanese child.
Oh my God, yeah, dude. It's like Sucker Punch or so. It's like whatever Sony part of PlayStation is helping them with VO and audio and all the rest. It's like, pay the fucking $5,000 and hire a child.
Yeah, at that point,
serious?
I don't know.
Like, are you serious? Like,
I have zero experience hiring child actors. The only time we've done VO was mainly for adults.
It's the one thing where I would, like, if I was like a tastemaker at Sony or like one of these, high level producers that end up playing these games as they're coming out, and he's like, all right, so this is like the first run of it, and this is like kind of our alpha build, and I'm like, this is great, everything's great. You gotta fucking recast the kid. Like, it's sticking out like a sore thumb. And so I needed to say that. I'm glad. I forgot to write that on my notes, so I'm glad that I remember that. But about the combat, which is what we were talking about.
Yeah.
I agree. So I think that there are so many options in the game as to be kind of goofy. I do like the idea of just endless combinations of both. So you have, and I wrote it down. So you have the katana, the dual katana, the odachi. So that's 3 sword types. It's 4 swords technically. The yari, which is like your bow staff kind of spear thing. The kusurigami, which is the chain flail thing. Then you have a light bow, a heavy bow, a rifle, and a pistol. Then you have all of the stuff underneath, like the kunai, the smoke bomb, the explosives, the fire ointment, like all. And I'm like, the honest to God truth is like, I didn't use almost any of this shit because in Tsushima, I was all about the kunai. Like, I loved the kunai. You would hit R1, like there would be a group of enemies. They would all like get broken. Their guard would be broken. You'd fuck them up. In this game, I just used other things, and I used all 4 core weapons, and I loved using the bows, but like the rifle was useless. I thought and then all these other things, I just was like, I don't know, man. There's such a thing as too much, and I think it was a little bit inelegant. Like, you're holding down L2, there's a radial, then there's like a thing off of that radial, then you hold R2, there's another radial, then you hold L2, and there's a second radial, and it's like, and then you use the D-pad. It's like, come on, guys. Like, we got to clean this up. This is too much. You don't need to. I think that. And I get it, it's a sequel. I think that there's this idea that's like more. And I'm like, no, better, not more, but better. And there is this interesting thing of saying like, yeah, the katana or dual katanas only with like a bow and maybe a pistol, not even a rifle, but a pistol. Because I do like the idea of the guns being in there and it's a little hint of connection to the rest of the world. Again, this is a very closed off to Japan that is barely trading with the rest of the world, but the Portuguese are in where I think they're in Nagasaki actually at this point in the real world, and they're trading like a few boats worth of shit every year. And so slowly these things are making their way out and people are discovering them. And then you have people even learning how to build like an endemic gun there themselves. So I think that's cool. It's a little cool setting, but you don't need to have so much. Because I don't know about you guys, but I didn't explore all of it. I would just be popping dudes with the bow. And I love doing that.
I didn't even use the bow.
Oh, really? Oh, the bow is awesome.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Stealth. It was great for stealth.
Oh, yeah. It's all, dude, like because I wrote this down. One of the great things you can upgrade is the Onryo tier of upgrades, and then survival, which is all of like the rolling and dodging and stuff like that, and then Onryo ranged. And you can like slow things down to such a degree and for so long with the bow that you can just like dudes are running at you and just boom.
It was too easy. It was too easy.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
That's why I was like, I'm just not going to use the bow at all, because I did use smoke bombs a lot because I did that a lot in Tsushima, where I was pretty stealthy and I used the smoke bombs a lot to do like stealth kills in the smoke, in the fog. Yeah. Can you see me? You didn't even fucking see me. I'm the ghost, motherfucker.
Onryo.
Onryo. Yeah, I love that. I love how reactive the whole world is to it, to you. You're like, oh shit. It's like The Witcher. She's the Witcher. Oh fuck. There's Geralt there, you know? Whereas with Jin, they were like, oh, you're the Sakai boy. Hey, what's up, man? You know? It was a little different. No, like Atsu was actually fucking like freaking everyone out, honestly, you know?
Yeah, which was cool.
And she loved killing. She was like, she's bathed in blood. She was like to her own fucking niece. She was like, you see this blood? This is not even mine, dude.
Yeah, that was a really cool way of showing that ghost mode, the Onryo mode.
She was almost proud of it. She was like, dude, this isn't even my blood, man. Like, I killed everybody. No, they didn't even fucking touch me because the parry system is so good, you know?
They literally make you feel like a monster in that moment, which is really cool when you unlock that ability, because you're now fighting dudes who suck. Like you just went through all these hard battles, and now you're just in this whole arena of guys who are just like really useless. Just like, this is too easy.
Yeah, and they're all mocking the knight that you see. That's why again, like, they keep it so personal. They keep pushing that knife into you and into Atsu to be like, look how fucking pissed off you can get. Now you got to fucking kill all these guys. And just be happy about it. There's no Dina to wash your back and make you feel and soothe your guilt or whatever like that. No, you're alone, Atsu.
Yeah, but she makes it out with all her fingers. There at the end, I did use the rifle a few times. There was something nice because you get like those elite squads of guys on the horses that'll fuck you up pretty easily. And there was something nice when I go to this. The last thing I needed to do was paint everything. So I'm just trying to go through this world painting things. All right, that's it. I just want to sit down, paint my little picture, get my trophy, and then go to sleep. It's 11:30 at night. So I am. So I'm going there and they say, oh, there's enemies nearby. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I just see these guys rolling up and I have like 6 shots in my rifle and I just blow them all away as they're coming. And that was pretty funny in the moment. So that was cool. I was pretty bummed how weak the pistol was that you get. I was kind of hoping, because I wanted nothing more than to go back. Like when I got the pistol, I'm like, great, I'm going up to that mountain and I'm just going to shoot that guy. That would be awesome.
Indiana Jones.
But no,
yeah.
You only shoot him once, and then he blocks everything.
That would have been a super cool like Easter egg, like Indiana Jones style, or like Metal Man and Mega Man 2, where he like dies with one hit of his own weapon.
I was kind of hoping they'd have their like janitor guy moment in from the Star Wars. What was it, Jedi one, the first one,
Fallen Order.
Like. Yeah, Fallen Order, where you like fight this guy, he's like, let's go, and it's like the janitor or something, and then just one hit and he's dead. Like, that guy sucks. I was kind of waiting for them to do that. But.
I looked up the voice credits for Atsu and young Atsu, and sure enough, it is only Erika Ishii. But for some reason, Jubei and young Jubei have completely different actors.
Interesting, yeah, because it's her doing like, hey, Dad.
Hey, let's go for Jubei. Come on.
Yeah, it's like, oh my.
I'm gonna be a blacksmith, Dad. Come on, Dad.
It's so.
Man, I gotta hear this. I haven't heard it. I gotta hear it.
It's fucked up, dude. Like, I kind of didn't want to play the game, and it happens like very early on, like in the first 5 minutes. And you're just like,
my name is Atsu.
It's just like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
All you need is that in the Aloy face, the child Aloy face.
Oh, child Aloy.
You just get them all together.
Child Aloy.
Sony does love the whole like child version of the character thing. That's like another one of their tropes.
Naughty Dog. Yeah. Here's child Nathan Drake. He's a kid now.
The thing is when they did that on Uncharted 3, that was so fucking dope. Like, and that was a huge surprise. Like that was, I remember in the embargo information, that was a big thing. Like, you absolutely cannot in any way say that young Nathan Drake is in this game or whatever.
No, it just happens every game except for young Kratos. There's no young Kratos at least, but you know.
Yeah.
Is there young Peter Parker?
Yes.
Oh yeah. There's
Yeah.
the
Oh yeah,
delivering
Spider-Man
mission.
2.
Oh,
Yeah,
right, yeah. So there's
in Spider-Man 2. You got to go through the fucking high school.
that fucking
And
rules.
oh,
Oh
wait,
yeah,
dude.
that too. Yeah.
Oh my
rules.
gosh! Come on, Harry! Come on! It's like, dude, they keep doing that trope. It's such a Sony thing now. It's like, surprise, you're another character halfway through. Surprise, you're young Ellie. Now you're young Abby. Now,
Right.
Oh, man.
Right,
That's
right.
why they're most. That's why they're most bummed about Concord, because you had like 12 young characters you could have had in future series.
Young Star Child.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Gun to your. It's been a year since Concord. Gun to your head. Could you name a Concord character, or are you dead?
So Star Child is the only one I
I mean, he
remember.
said Star Child. That's the only reason I know because Colin just said it.
It's fucked up that Star Child. It was a name. Like, I forgot. Like when you said Star Child, I was like, oh, Colin just saying whatever.
I don't know.
And
That's right.
I completely forgot that Star Child was an actual name.
That's the only
It's
one
so
I do
stupid.
remember, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is such oh my god, I played that fucking game.
God.
What did you guys think of the upgrade? Oh, by the way, before we move on about the guns as well, I just thought there was a funny part at the end where you have to use your rifle, I think on horseback, to like shoot barrels, and they're like, shoot the barrels and everything will explode. There's like a bunch, but there's so many barrels.
Oh yeah.
Like you could tell that in like when they were testing the game and focusing it, people were like missing this because dude, it is the most barrels you've ever seen in your entire life.
I didn't even really realize that until just seeing you mention
Yeah.
that.
So I'll admit it because I'll admit my embarrassment. It felt like they were not the barrels to shoot because they weren't red. And I'm like aiming. I was like, I'm like, all those barrels? Surely that's not it. And I overthought it. And before I knew it, time ran
No,
out.
I also failed on it because I just shot.
Okay, thank God. Right, because it didn't look like
I just
that was right.
I just shot one of the people thinking I could reload quickly.
Oh.
But then she's like jamming the fucking, like just on horseback, like jamming the shit. I'm like, oh no. And then I just put that down. But I just thought that was so funny because I'm like, dude, this is such a, just knowing, I always think about in the original Last of Us, there's a moment in the beginning of the game when you're with Sarah and you're like, it's before she gets shot, and like you're running into like the grassy area, and there's like a gap in like a metal barrier, and there's a huge spotlight on it, and then like wavy yellow construction tape. And I'm like, dude, I would have loved to see this when they were focus testing this, because obviously no one knew where to go. And that just reminded me of that. So I needed to throw that out there. I just love seeing shit like that. What did you guys think of the upgrading and leveling up? I felt like they kind of neutered it a little bit in this game. I don't know. I don't know. I liked the idea of earning experience more. Here you're kind of finding, it's not even level capped. It's like you're finding like shrines and things that will make you stronger, and you can become really strong by kind of not even being violent, which is interesting because you can just go around and explore. And so you can have like an encounter, avoid combat for hours, just go around and do this, and then come back and you're going to be way more powerful. My big problem with this, and this is a problem I just have in a lot of, frankly, I would say 2/3 of games that have this kind of upgrade tree system, is that there becomes a point where I'm like, I don't care. I don't want any of these upgrades. There's like a whole vertical for horse upgrades. I'm like, it's like,
that was last.
Yeah, right.
Again,
exactly.
I didn't use the bow at all. So the range upgrade tree was just like whatever. So I'm like, I don't need all these upgrades. If you're going for the platinum, of course, if you want to be the strongest possible, I'll add to, of course. But as I'm playing the game, I'm just like, I don't need the horse upgrades either. Yeah, it's fine. The horse gets me to place. I don't need a Corolla with guns on it. You know?
Right. Exactly. Go ahead.
The only issue I had with the upgrades was that you had to use the point. The first time, it was pretty early on where I said, well, like, here's these empty trees. I know I'm going to get another weapon. I want to save these points and put it into the weapon that I get later. But that wasn't the case. So that it kind of made you do it. And it took a little bit longer to upgrade the weapons that I wanted to, but that was fine. It didn't really bother me too much. That was just like the absolute smallest of issues I had. But I don't remember Tsushima though.
It's just disappointing to do these shrines and do these other things, and eventually, you're just like kind of out of thing. It's the same. People make fun of this also with like, especially in role playing games, with like the different amulets and all these different things you get. You just stack these things up, and then you look at them, and it's like +2 poison damage. It's like, who gives a shit?
Oh my
like,
God.
you know what I mean? Like, give me something better than this. And even some of the charms they have in the game, it's like some of them are like that. We're like, all right, guys. Like we have some better upgrades. Not a huge deal, but
similarly, and this kind of goes to when we were talking about the outfits before, I do wish there was a transmog. Like for all the other options they have, there was some armors that I thought looked pretty cool, but the stats were not things that were suited to my play style, and it would have been nice. Even on a more basic level, the upgraded versions I think sometimes looked a little goofier than the versions I wanted. Like I want to be light, I want to be nimble, and now I'm wearing a fur coat. Like, can I take that off? That would be a cool idea.
Right. I love that kind of stuff too. Yeah, it would be nice to do that. They only have that level of customization, I think, with like the during cutscenes. Like, do you want your helmet and like your mask on or not? I think was something they gave you.
You can also go up and down the upgrade tree for the armor, but yeah, you can't switch armors out to have a different...
you can change that, the visuals?
Yeah, you can. I completely missed that too. So do not feel bad about missing it. The whole review period, I missed it. It wasn't until afterwards, but you can go into the equipment selection and you can it's a R1, R2, like R1, L1 type of menu where you can degrade the look of the armor to what you want. So if you don't like I love the Atsu's regular Onryo armor and the when she has a fur cape on it, I fucking love that shit. But like she would get like arm guards and everything like that, and I was like, maybe that's too much. I just want I don't want her to be a complete warrior, but I like the fur coat. So let me just remove the arm pads. So it does have that at least.
Oh, cool. That's good to know. Yeah, that's weird because there was one other weird thing that I noticed, which was the lo-fi mode. Gene, I remember you talking about it and how cool it was. So I wanted to check that out last night. And I was looking all over the audio options, and it's not there.
Oh yeah, it's in visual. It's in visual
display options.
Display, yeah, weird.
Why?
Yeah, really weird. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't understand that either. Yeah, it's not a display option, but I guess they wanted to put that next to Miike mode and Kurosawa mode just to keep it easier, I guess. But,
sure, yeah. Well, that was the only other kind of weirdness.
Mm-hmm. One thing I wanted to shout out to the game that I think it does very well is it communicates with the player very well. And though there's a vagueness to exploration, which we discussed earlier, I like the friendliness of the UI, the snappiness, as we said, of the quick travel, the general. There's a philosophy of either over or under designing your menus depending on the games you're in, and I've said this many times, and I think God of War 2018 is like the ultimate version of this, where it's like, why are all of the easiest things the worst part of the game? So I always talk about like, why are the maps so bad? Like, why is the quick travel so bad? Why doesn't it give you the pertinent information about equipment and all these things? And I just think Ghost of Yotei doesn't fall into that trap, thankfully. Like, I'm always so confused and I think it's a product of overplaying your own games internally and maybe not focus testing enough. But I always get mad when games just have these obtuse, complicated, ill-designed, stupid. Chris and I always make fun of Borderlands 3, where like Borderlands 3's menu is so bloated that you would like pause and the game would freeze for like seconds to load it. It's like, how did this happen? I feel like the snappiness of things that are happening outside of the game are important. That's why this lightning quick, almost comical quick travel is so funny. Where it's like, because you almost have to wrap your mind around it. I know we've had PS5 for 5 years at this point, and we first experienced this level of quick travel in like Miles Morales. It's like, damn, it's so good. And I just think one of the things that I think is really friendly is like the dot communications, like the little like cuneiform math things where it's like, if there's a little bubble around a town on the map and it has 3 dots, that means like 3 different things can be happening there. Then you go and you hit triangle, it shows you all of the locations. Then there's like a red dot underneath where you're supposed to go, so you can see the cartographer has new maps for you, where there are new bounties available for you or whatever. And the other thing that I really like in terms of the communicative nature of the game is the wolf pack screen, which I think is really, really cool. So you see all of your different people, and then there's little prompts above them like, this guy has a mission for you, this guy has equipment for you, this guy, and it's telling you shit. And now I know that not every game, Hell Is Us is an example of a game where it's like, it will tell you nothing, and that's the game. But generally speaking, I think that separating the value of vague exploration, but with communicative stuff that you need to know as the player, this is a pretty happy marriage of those two things. And I think that's a small thing that's a big thing, and it should be called out. It's really, really well done. I loved just the snappiness and the ease of knowing what I needed to do and letting the mystery lay in the unexplored parts of the game, the gaps in the map, the knowledge that I'm missing this, that, and the other thing, but I don't see them anywhere, so they have to be in these different gaps. It's pretty cool.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that was great when tracking down the remaining shrines at the end. Like, that was also cool. The only thing I had to look up online for the platinum was was where to paint and where I was missing 2 of the puzzle boxes. So I needed to find those remaining 2. So, but fortunately, it was one of those things where I looked at the map. I said, "Oh, right, I haven't covered this point, so I'll go here." And I did get maps from the cartographer, and I actually really enjoyed that. Like, it's such a small little thing, but there was something really satisfying about aligning the maps and placing them instead of saying, "Hey, it's over here. All right, it's over there." It's like, no, actually, you're going to put in the slightest bit of work in this cute little game to place that down. And I love that kind of stuff.
And eventually, if
satisfying.
I was fucking with it, like if you start trying to put it in the wrong places enough, it'll just show you where it goes to, which is cool. So just like, put it, and I that's the little things I liked. Like starting the fires it's like hold down X, or like doing all these different things. It's like good because you definitely know that they didn't have that in the game originally. That was like, you're going to make this fire, and then someone at some point was like, no, you're not. Put the fucking X prompt in here. You can do the little thing with the, do it the first time and that'll be fun and cute. But after that, you got to give people a way to skip it. I think that there's a lot of honing in and fine tuning that makes the game highly playable. And
it works. Like even going back to Infamous Second Son, when they had the spray paint on the controller, like, yeah, that was a launch gimmick, but it worked well, actually. I thought it worked pretty well.
Yeah, it's cool.
Like, I don't mind it.
Yeah, because it's funny you say that, Jason, because even the painting, like on the, like you were saying earlier, the Sumi paintings, whatever they're called, Sumi-e paintings, at some point I was like, can I just do whatever? And actually you can't. Like, there is some sort of, like, if the line is up and to the left, like, you can't go down and to the right. You can't go down straight or up straight. Like, it kind of makes you do it, because I was like, oh, this is probably nonsense, where you just do whatever you want. Like when you used to play Rock Band and you could just hum the songs and get like the perfect score.
Oh yeah.
Like if you're just like, and it just worked
just
perfectly.
Capturing tone, yeah.
Right, exactly. So, but actually it was like, no, you have to kind of play along, and it worked. It worked nicely. I'm looking at my trophies now. I'm missing 5 bronze and a silver, and they're all collectible trophies. So like solve all the 9 tails puzzle boxes. I've only done 5 of 12. Complete all Sumi-e paintings. I only did 3 of 15. Receive the Fox Mask after completing all Fox dens. I haven't done that. By the way, not nearly as many Fox dens in this game, which I think was a response to the original game where it got a little crazy.
Too many.
Complete all the Wolf dens. I haven't done that. And then the trophy, silver trophy, Body, Mind, and Spirit. Complete all Bamboo Strikes, Shrine Climbs, and Hot Springs. I'm 36 of 44 on that.
Yeah, because there's fucking wolf upgrades too, man. There's a whole skill tree for wolf. It's like I don't care about the wolf either, man.
Oh, I love the wolf.
Upgrade that when you have like when the wolf. It's almost like the wolf's experience that you're like tendering, which is interesting.
My biggest problem with the game was at the end, the wolf walks away. I was like, no, be our dog. Come on, join the family.
Yeah, no. Well, that's why I wish the wolf was around like permanently. I love the wolf and to the point where I wish it was permanent, but it's not. So I was like, I don't care about upgrading the wolf because he's not always going to be there. It's still cool, I guess, but
Oh, I gotta have it. Every time you go into area, be like, all right, play the song. My buddy's here. Even if I stealth, I know he's got my back, and we're gonna fuck some dudes up, because he would also when he would kill a second enemy for you, which was great. Yeah. So you could take like 3 dudes at once, even before you have that upgrade. It was awesome.
Yeah,
I love taking 3 dudes at once. Let's see. Sorry, that was perverted.
That's all right.
What did we think of Zeni Hajiki, the minigame in this? Did you guys play a lot of it? You can get some charms and do all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I liked it. It was very simple and straightforward. I think it would be very fun to play in person.
I agree.
Yeah.
You could easily make it. Could easily be a Squid Game if you watch that show. If you fuck up, you die.
Yeah, right.
You get shot in the head. The
coin teetering on the edge of the table. I thought it was pretty fun. Very straightforward and easy. I didn't do all of them because there are some different charms that I didn't get from playing, but you play the game quite a bit throughout the course of the main adventure, and then there are some side quests that revolve around it too. So I've probably played 10 or 15 games of it. It's fun. There's nothing really very challenging about it. I actually think the challenge of it is like kind of the looseness of the controls, because you're using like the trigger and pressing it down, but it's very sensitive, and I think that's kind of what makes it difficult, because it is otherwise straightforward. But again, it would be cool to just go drink at a bar and play that.
There is an accessibility option where you can see the power meter. I haven't turned it on, but I saw the option.
Well, yeah, that's. I don't want to. I don't know. It's not cheating.
I'm just saying, but there's no achievements really tied to it. I don't.
No, you can break if you want to break the game wide open, you can play it on the easiest difficulty with all the accessibility options, and you can get all the trophies, as I understand. And I was saying that fight in the crater or near the crater of Mount Yotei, it's like that fight is so fucking hard that I was like, no. I'm like, I died like 5 times. And I was like, no, I'm not doing this. It reminded me a lot of the Valkyrie Queen in God of War, where it's like, this is crazy hard. Like, way hard. It's an order of magnitude more difficult than anything else in the game. And I just feel like it's actually way unbalanced and not fun. It's like, if you want people to have a really hard time with the game, just put it on hard or very hard. That's totally fine. So for that, I was like, nope. And I just dropped it. And then I put the difficulty back up after I killed them. No shame. The other, let's see here. Do I have other notes? I guess that's kind of it. I guess the only other thing that I left unsaid was just, I liked the layout of the map, that it wasn't this fulsome Tsushima-like map where you got to every piece of it, but rather just a series of 6 or 7 locations that were connected to each other. Because I remember when I was in the first area, I'm like, wow, this is a pretty big map. Because in my mind, I'm like, you're gonna uncover the fog of war over this whole thing, but you don't. You actually don't go to much of the island, and that feels more realistic and interesting and in its own way complete, as opposed to being like The Witcher 3, where you're like every corner and every question mark and every. So I dug that. I thought it was laid out pretty nicely. And it also probably allowed them to, certainly allowed them to have these sprawling open world maps that weren't quite, it could be much more beautiful because they were not rendering as much as you would have otherwise in a huge island like that. Is there anything that we've left unsaid that you guys wanted to get into? Oh, the other thing, the symbol of the sash, just like wiping the blood.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Again, so cool. Another narrative mechanic that keeps you engaged. It's another checklist. It's perfect for you, Colin, because you love checklists. Right. It's a literal checklist game. She's like, no, here, Colin, you want a checklist game? Here it is. But just again, another narrative hook that's compelling, visually compelling. Every time she fucking did it, it was hard as fuck. It was cool. Even when she didn't kill a guy. And it was symbolic. It kind of brought new meaning to her, like wiping away her own past. I loved it. Fantastic. And the fact that she wears it throughout the whole game. It's so cool.
What do we think about, well, so first of all right, so Jason, you had said you platinumed it in 46 hours. I just passed the 50-hour mark last night, and I have to clean up these collectibles. I don't know how long that's going to take. I guess you have to play the shamisen songs, right? And then use them to find your way to them?
Some things. So there's an outfit that you have that will bring you to the places to paint, but you have to be close to the places. So that's why I went online.
For
those. The shrines, yes, they'll bring you to it. The puzzle boxes, no way. Like there's nothing that will point you to the puzzle boxes.
Yeah, because they're just sitting at the base of some things, right? You have to like know to pick them up. Yeah.
And then there's a couple that are just chilling in the open world. Okay. So it's cool when you stumble upon them, but if you're trying to just, and the only reason I went for the platinum is because I was close enough. Like, well, let's
might as well do it. Yeah, right? You've come this far.
Yeah, so, but for the most part, like all the shrines, all those things, and that was awesome because I didn't do a lot of those big climb shrines like on the outside, and those are awesome. Like I'm a big platforming fan, right? So you get these, and I love, like I was saying, big fan of Sucker Punch. So that's the pure platforming experience that I really loved. To kind of, it's a nice relaxing way to finish the game and clean up by getting all these very pretty vistas. But the wind takes you there. And even this is something I didn't realize until even later on in the post-game stuff was that when you trigger the wind song, you could then go to your map and it'll show a big streak in the direction. So you could even use that as a way to get through it quicker. Also, when it comes to the game clock, that is like exactly 46 hours. I am, Colin, like you, I'm like super compulsive about game clocks, where if I even get up to go to the bathroom, I will go to the home screen.
Me too.
Of PlayStation to make sure it stops counting.
Oh yeah, with this game, I would make a manual save and then just go to the menu. Like you can go to the settings menu and then just go back to the start screen. Because if you start the game up, it just puts you right into it, which is cool. Right. But there is like a start screen. Yeah. Does it bother you like it bothers me that there are some games that are just so inelegant with their clock? It's like, why don't you care about, like, what is the purpose of having this if it doesn't work? It's so weird.
Yeah. And I always have to test the limits. Like I think the last time I had to do something like you're saying was with Avowed, where even if you were at the home screen on the Xbox, it would still count in the game.
Yeah, I always test it too.
If I had to go to the bathroom, save, go to the home screen, get up, so at least it doesn't count it when you get your recap at the end of the year. Like this is how much of a psychopath.
I just don't understand the purpose of like, here's a clock for an in-game clock. It just doesn't ever stop.
Yeah,
it's like a game of.
But I also want to make sure it's authentic for the recap, right? Like there's like the Nintendo app that just came out today. It shows you the count of all your playtime of games. And I know for a fact that's accurate because anytime I play a Switch game, if I stop playing, home button. Lock it.
Yeah, it's
Gene, you'll appreciate this. Game with my most spent time. The only game that I put over 100 hours in on Nintendo game in the last, I don't know, however far back it goes, Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
That's so funny. I was just looking at my Xenoblade Chronicles X time on that app that just came out. I was playing it 10 hours a day.
That's too much.
That's too much.
10 hours. I would love to just talk to you about that last chapter in the game because I hated it. Hated it.
of X or
of X.
Oh, X.
X.
No, X. I totally understand why you hate it.
Fantastic.
No problem.
Yeah.
I forgot we didn't bring this up at all too. I mean, we don't have to get into it, but I also really loved the bounty system.
Yeah,
I just thought it was very fun, very nice extra addition to the game.
The fact that each one had a story,
yeah, like a little story to them. Yeah, I loved the one where the woman it was like an old woman having tea in like the forest by a pond, and she was like trying to lure you in, and Atsu's immediately like, "This is insane! Like, what is going on here?" And then she's like, "All right, forget it." And then like all of her people come out and attack you.
Did I like the guy with the bears?
Oh yeah, you kill the bear, right? And then he freaks out. Is that the way?
Yeah, then he sucks. I guess that's the closest thing to the janitor moment.
It
sucks. He just got a bunch of bears to kill people for him.
So yeah, I really, really dug that as well, and I liked some of the NPC characters a lot. Like I really liked Ran, the bower.
Oh, she's so pretty, dude.
Yeah, she's like, I loved her like her broken English voice, almost like her like heavily accented voice. Like she's really, really cute. And
the side characters are actually pretty compelling, and the fact that all the shopkeepers are the same in every town, I love that. It's so video gamey, but it keeps you like rooted and connected to the world the whole time. You know, when you see Ron, you're like, oh hey, what's up, girl? You know, it's cool.
And she's
so
always
when you
like,
see the cartographer, he's like, hey, this fucker guy. Yeah,
she like just always wants your money. It's so funny. I like the bounty guy. I like Matchlock Murata, the gun guy. I thought was really cool. The dude that teaches you to use dual katanas, who lost his arm to Saito, is an interesting character.
That was awesome.
Yeah, so there's really, really cool.
Yeah, the fact that he comes back around later in the story, it's great. Yeah, again, great storytelling. Fantastic. One of the best stories I think a PlayStation first party has told. Just a straightforward, good story.
And really well paced, and really well paced. Because that was
really well paced.
One of the things I really loved about the game. It felt like a movie in just in the structure, or even a TV show, where I like how she would get close and the person would get away. And
that happened a lot. I'm so glad that you mentioned that. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But I was just going to say, like, I just feel like it expanded the story. It's like you realize that nothing was ever really final once that happened the first time, where I think the Oni gets away from you, and you think it's kind of coming to a culmination, and there's like it's really well paced, where it's like, no, you got to, and now he knows you're coming, so now you have to figure out a more clever way to get him. I think that was pretty neat.
Every single Yotei 6 member, there was always like a thing where it's like, oh, you're right there, and then they kind of get away. It's a little convenient, you know, like even the Oni one, it's like, oh, here's the bridge is on fire, and then now you're gonna fall on the bridge, and now you're all okay. But it's fine. It's a video game, right? And it's keeping the adventure going, it's keeping the pacing going, and even when it feels like they were like, okay, we didn't need to stretch it out that long. It doesn't last that long. Like the next mission, it's like, okay, now some interesting things are happening. And there's more room for a little bit more story and a little bit more character development. It always pays off. Always pays off.
Yeah. The also shout out to the Odachi guy, the Odachi master.
Sure. Yeah,
that dude loves his Odachi.
Yeah,
like, maybe a little too much. And I'll make a reference to one character in another game this year from 100 Lion Defense Academy, Kiyoshika. 2 people listening will probably appreciate that reference, but I think they might have something in common.
Wow,
I have to play that game apparently.
That's the that's the Danganronpa game, right?
Yeah. This lady really liked her sword.
Well, more power to her.
So did the Odachi man. He loved his sword, the Odachi.
I think that's basically it. I mean, the only thing I wanted to ask about in terms of exiting now is like, what do you think the future will hold? Do we want? I think it's fairly safe to assume they're done with this series. We're obviously going to get Legends, which is cool. I don't think they're married to the idea of doing an expansion. They basically said that. I also think the entire idea of doing like media expansions for first party games is kind of over. Like as a rule. I mean, I'm sure there'll be things that you saw. I think you saw the first sign of that with Spider-Man 2. Like they canceled all of the expansions. There was supposed to be a heavy level of support for that game. And they were just like, no. And that game sold really well because I think they probably look at it and say like, well, we can just kind of move these assets to the next thing. And so like what with God of War Ragnarok, you got a fairly nice series of updates. With Horizon, even you got that expansion, but I don't think they're going to get anything for this game Beyond Legends, but I'm wondering if you would prefer for them to kind of move away from Ghost now and do something new, or if you want a proper expansion. They said they were open to it if like that was what people wanted, but I don't think it's necessary. It seems pretty complete to me. And one of the things I never played Iki Island on PS4, but I played it on PS5, and I think one of the things that made it work for me was that I was able to integrate it into the game. I don't think I would have wanted to play it afterwards. I made it like I played it in between the second and third chapter of Tsushima, basically, because you have to go over there and do it. But then you couldn't leave at any time after that. You can actually just quick travel back to the normal map. And so anyway, Jason, where are you on this? What do you want for the future?
Anything. I'm ride or die for Sucker Punch. I mean, since the Sly Cooper trilogy, I had like a hot take of the 3 3D platformers of the PS2 era, the trilogies between Sly Cooper, Ratchet, and Jak. I think Sly Cooper is the most consistent and the best of the 3 as a whole. I think it has the highest lows, even if it doesn't have the highest highs. They're all great games. Those are 3 great games.
Yeah, they are. They are great games.
Ratchet 1 is a low point of the series, and Ratchet, Going Commando, and Up Your Arsenal are 2 of my favorite games of all time. I'll do, and Jak 2 is. It is what it is, but Sly Cooper is just a phenomenal trilogy. So they haven't missed. They have really strong sense of what they want to do. They always deliver. Even Second Son, I loved their little expansion where you played as
First Light. Yeah, Fetch.
First Light.
That's right. I forgot about that guy. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. They keep trying to make Fetch happen.
Yeah,
But yeah, I truly love anything Sucker Punch does. I always root for original content, so I would love them to not go back to Ghost of Tsushima and do something different. But I whatever they do, I'll be on board for, and I hope it's something that we haven't seen before, something unique, but still very much. I expect it to still be something very Sucker Punch with that some form of sticky platforming. So as long as I get a little bit of that and the Sly Cooper reference, I'll be super happy. And that would be what I say.
What do you think? Maybe they'll go back to that game Prophecy that they canceled,
or Rocket Robot on Wheels. Bring that back. How about a Rocket Robot on Wheels remake?
Yeah, I wonder who owns it. Ubisoft published that game, right? I wonder who owns that IP, and if it would ever is it on the Nintendo?
No, I'm so in if it shows up though.
That'd be kind of cool if Sony just let that happen if they own it. But I wonder if Ubisoft actually owns it. Gene, what would you want from the future? I guess the idea would be something old, more Ghost, or something new. I mean, those are the 3 options.
I would like them to just return to Infamous. Period.
Interesting.
Oh,
yeah. I think out of all the Sony IP, it is of the last generation besides Ratchet and Clank, which could be ageless, but isn't as successful. I don't know how well Infamous is sold, but Infamous is an IP that could last for generations. And I think Sony is lacking that. You can't have The Last of Us Part 6. That's not going to happen. So you need some. People always say that I love that there's always a new story, that they leave these stories behind in generations, but that doesn't really play to the strength of what a video game is and what the video game industry is. Imagine if Marvel said, well, no one cares about Iron Man, so let's just move on and make a new character because Iron Man isn't that popular, hasn't sold that well. And now Iron Man is basically the main character of the Marvel universe. Video games are like comic books. You need persistent IP to kind of continue on in generations if you want to have a permanence throughout the generations. You can't just keep having new stuff all the time. So I would love for Sucker Punch to kind of go back to Infamous, which I think is the strongest IP in the Sony first party in terms of growth opportunity, and just fun. It'll be fucking fun.
Yeah,
take what you learn from the Ghost series. You become masters of the open world. You weren't quite that at Infamous. You were great. Infamous was a great superhero game, but Ghost is a step above that. So take what you learn from there and go back to the well. That's my take.
In the short term, I feel it would be fun because I know that they're kind of the first party studios have more room now to be kind of control freaks over their own IP. This wasn't the case always. Obviously, Sly 4 wasn't even made with Sucker Punch by Sucker Punch or even with their endorsement. And that's no longer the case because they released that statement a couple years ago being like, no one's making Infamous or Sly Cooper because we're not making it. and kind of shut that whole rumor mill down. I would like for them to go back and remaster the Infamous games. Like, you tell me, Jason, if you think this is workable again as a producer. It's like you have a team of interdisciplinarians, right, that do all these different things. And while your creatives are getting the next property off the ground, you dispatch your technical people to kind of start polishing and staying busy on ports of Infamous 1 and 2. I don't know if Second Son or First Light really need to be ported. They're already on PS4, or remastered. And then you kind of and then you kind of put the team back together when it's time to work on the new thing. That's kind of like how I would, from the outside, if I were the puppet master, want to manage things. But I do worry about Infamous feeling redundant, like you're saying, in the world of Marvel games. And Sony and Marvel, I mean, there's going to be X-Men games, that Venom game, Spider-Man 3. I don't know, is it too much superhero shit? Do you want to do the fake superhero shit, in quotes, when you have the real superhero shit? I don't know if it's a conflict for them. So what do you think about that, though, Jason, the idea of them splitting off and maybe doing a remaster?
I don't know if that's best suited for that team itself. Like if you have a core team and you're building something new, you have a general idea of it and you can do technical exploration. You can start building that foundation of what's new. And especially if you're working on the same engine, it's like, yeah, we kind of iterate and start implementing some ideas. Like the technical side of things has to be working with the designers to then create that thing to try it out before it shows up in the game. So those guys will be busy doing tech stuff as they have a general idea of what's going to happen. Because even in the, you kind of look at it from the other side of things, right? Where as the game is done, let's say the game was finished a year ago, those game designers and the guys who would actually determine what the next game is are not that relevant because it's more technically tuning things. Unless something's broken that requires a larger change, like if you need to change something that's going to impact the game itself, those guys who are going to be figuring out what's next are probably
I've already been doing it
free. So they've been doing it overlapping while the technical guys are actually fixing the game. So by the time they get off of that thing, they come back. It's like, okay, now let's start building the thing that we've been kind of planning. So you kind of got to look at it from the other way. That's how I would look at it, at least.
Yeah.
And if you're talking about a remaster, I would probably go to somewhere else to do that because you're again looking for a team that's not in that core base to build it out. You could outsource that to a team. It's like a lower cost team that could get you the same result. When you go to an outsourcing thing, I mean, when you go to a like a remaster, right? There are some creative liberties that have to be made, especially if you're talking about something as like if you're talking about a full remake, like something like Blue Point does. Well, that's something very different than a remaster. In line of, if you're saying, yeah, we're trying to HD things, just basically make something that was on PS3 that already looked really great, up-res, make things run. There's more of an objective outcome to that where you can do that with an outsourced team that doesn't require your first party core studio that should be focused on making this new thing as great as it can be.
Yeah.
As opposed to splintering it up.
I agree. I actually totally agree with you. But I say this only to give it a little bit of context is that sure. They themselves had brought that up as a possibility. And so that made me feel like maybe it was on their minds, that combined with kind of, again, the control freakish nature of these things. Because I'm often surprised, it's not quite the same, but I'm often surprised about how they're deploying nixes. And like when you find out, it's like, oh, this team actually made the PC version themselves, but this team didn't make the PC version themselves. It's like you would think you would want to just funnel as much of it as possible through those that do those jobs best. And so I don't know. I was just something to think about because I think we're probably all of the same mind, maybe generally speaking, that I think the best thing for the team would be certainly to move away from Ghost and then something new. I think it's, you got to get something new. Sony has always been traditionally great about letting teams move on if they want. And the time to iterate is now because games take so long to make. You've basically spent 10 years working on these two Ghosted games. It's a lot of time spent. And the only way you get these new bites at the apple is to literally take the bite at the apple when you have the opportunity. And so it is my sincere hope that they move on to something new. And I would love to see something totally weird and dynamic and not like anything they've done before. Certainly not going back to Sly, although they've said that. And it's no disrespect to Sly, but they said themselves, they're like, there are probably fewer than 10% of the people here would ever want to work on a Sly game again. So, yeah.
I would love it. I honestly just want a Sly 5. Just give me a Sly Cooper game without a cliffhanger. Like that's it. Just give me end it. I know Sanzaru made the fourth one and I thought it was awesome, but they ended it on the worst cliffhanger of all of the games. like finish it. Give me a 5-hour game that just tells me how the story ends, because I love those characters and I love I love all those games.
Yeah, I love how they so confidently teased it. And I think it did fairly well, but not enough for them to make another one. It was too bad. And again, it's no disrespect to Sly Cooper. I really love Sly Cooper, but let's see. Like, I would love to know what they think is like what's percolating internally. It would be fun to know. They probably have a few ideas and they'll figure it out. But I think they'll be steady enough to, like, I think, for instance, because a lot of people are like, oh, is the game selling soft? Is the game selling well? I'm like, it's probably not selling extraordinarily well, but I think it's selling well enough for them to stay intact and make the next thing. And so we'll see what that looks like. And certainly it will be a PS6 game, which is interesting and exciting in its own way, I guess. And Legends, of course. Will you guys check out Legends when it comes out? I never played Legends in the first one, but that'll be a free uppate.
I played Legends. It was fun, but not something that I wanted to keep going. But definitely cool. And the fact that it's free is crazy. And you can play forever. You can play for a really long time, but it's just not something that I was really interested in.
Yeah, I'm
played through all the missions once with my buddy. We went through as the ghost dogs of Tsushima. If you're not familiar with the Forrest Whitaker ghost dog,
love that movie.
Play on that. It's good stuff.
Ghost dogs.
So when he saw this is coming out, he doesn't even have a PS5 yet, but he was like, "Ghost Dog's back." I'm like, "Yeah, Ghost Dog's back."
Genocide on Hokkaido.
You kill so many people.
I know, it's insane how many people.
So many.
There's got to be videos like YouTubers that do it, but it would be fun to like count. Like, especially in a game like, not so much a game like this because there's dynamic encounters and stuff, but a game like The Last of Us or Last of Us Part 2, for instance, like how many people do you actually kill? Like, it's accountable. It's probably something like, it's probably like people, 100 people or something. 150, maybe more than that, because just the Haven is itself crazy. So maybe like 150.
It's 376 people in The Last of Us 2.
Way off.
Just Ellie herself kills. Only Ellie kills
376 people.
Yeah, she kills. She goes to Seattle and kills 376 people. That's a lot. That's a lot of bodies.
All time, like one of the most prolific.
Wait, does that include like the clickers?
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like, that's what I was trying to figure out. Like,
people that are dead.
Human. Yeah,
that's still a lot of. If it's half of that, if you said this person just killed 180 people, like that's still way too many people to kill.
The breakdown is 182 humans, consisting of wolves and Seraphite members, as well as the rattlers. And so it's 182 living humans.
Okay, that's a lot of people.
Not that's a lot of people. Yeah, but closer to your initial estimate, Colin, at least.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is like, for humans, because every encounter is like 10 people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's 10 people talking to each other about their lives and their dreams as you're making them gurgle their blood.
You killed Alice.
Yeah.
I can't finish my game of Hotline Miami.
Oh my god, so funny. That was
my favorite
cool.
scene in the whole game.
God.
All right. Anything else to say, guys, before we go? About the game? Did we cover everything? I don't know if you have notes or anything like that, but I've covered everything I have in my notes.
Let's see. I just took a bunch of screenshots, so those are kind of my notes.
All right.
The credits.
Oh,
the credits are awesome looking. Like,
they don't let you skip
the art.
They don't let you skip them though.
Oh, they don't skip them. That's right. Yeah.
But the art and the way they animate in. Shout out to the credits.
Yeah, the credits are beautiful. And by the way, when I say skipping, like I actually like the idea of like you said, the beautiful animations and all of the rest before it becomes a scrolling thing with like all the outsourcing.
I know exactly what you mean.
So like that early part where it's like all the people in the studio. I think not skipping that or being like you can't skip this is cool, but once that goes away and then it becomes like the scroll, then you should be able to skip the credits. Mm-hmm. And it's always crazy to me how many people work on these games, but then just how many people are randomly credited on them. It's like, come on, man. All these people didn't have some hand in this game. This is by the time you get to like Sony, where it's like it's like the webmaster of PlayStation.com. It's like, why is this in here? You know, the fuck is this?
Man, they got to. If you're talking about people talking about it, they got to engage with people talking about the game, or they have to deal with the product being available. You never know. Everybody's got like a little thing.
He put it on the store. He put it on the storefront.
Right, exactly. It's like it's fine. I just think that's funny. And then they get
craft services and movies. They're the heroes.
It's funny because like when I think about journalism, it's like there's like actually like a handful of people that go into like writing an article, but it's only like my name that goes in it, and it's like that, I think that's kind of fucked up. What if the editor fucks up? His name isn't on it, you know? I think everything should have some credits then if that's the case. So.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea. I always felt bad, especially like we didn't do this at IGN because we titled our own articles, but like I always feel bad for writers at normal publications where like editors put the like headline in their titles and it's like, what is this fucking bullshit headline? And then they just destroy the article, but it's not even your fault. And it's your byline. It sucks.
Yeah.
All right, let's get the hell out of here. That was fun. Ghost of Yotei is available now, as you guys know, on PlayStation 5. Go check it out. I'm sure it'll come to PC next year. And obviously the Legends update, they'll probably do their normal Sony New Game Plus update, maybe another difficulty setting and some other stuff to kind of get some marketing beats for it as we get into the holiday season. And I'll be very interested to see if it sells well over the holidays. It's trailing behind Tsushima, no doubt about it, but on a per capita basis, it's selling higher at a higher price, 16.7% higher price than Tsushima was at launch. So there's something to be said there as well, although inflation has basically consumed all of that. Were you going to say something, Jason?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were.
Oh, it was me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Lethal difficulty wasn't included in the review period, so I'm actually looking forward to playing another version of doing another run of the game with lethal difficulty.
I like that they do that. Like, it's a little frustrating, but if you want to like jump right into New Game Plus or you want to do that, but I think it's cool that Sony has a history of kind of like not ignoring the game after it comes out, even if it doesn't get a full expansion. They try to kind of support it a little bit.
Yeah. If they can't do it, I prefer it at launch. But if they can't do it at launch, hey, you know, it's fine. It gives me another good reason to play the game again, and I've been kind of looking forward to that. So
cool. So yeah, go check it out if you haven't already. I think we all recommend it highly. I think it's one of the top 5 games of the year. I would say for me, for sure.
Sure.
And
top 10 for me, but yeah,
top 10. Yeah, it might get to that point by the time I catch up with everything. Because my game of the year is still Death Stranding, I think, but we'll see. I have to go and look.
My game of the year is Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, actually.
Oh, I mean, that's going to be in the top 5 for sure too. That game is so
Stuff
good.
like that, Shinobi. My God, it's too many games.
I actually prefer Ragebound. I thought I would love Shinobi more, but after playing both, I was like, I think Ninja Gaiden Ragebound is the only game where I have zero complaints about it, and I have like nothing but happy thoughts about it. It's my favorite fucking game of the year. Actually,
it's so good.
It's so good.
I hope they do another
perfect video game.
I hope they do
a perfect video game. IMO. So.
We'll see. It sold pretty well. I think maybe hundreds of thousands of copies or whatever. I think that's probably satisfactory for Koei Tecmo, but who knows? All right. Well, let's go around the horn and say goodbye to everyone. Jason, thank you for joining us today during your work day. Hopefully this didn't fuck your day up too badly.
That's fine.
Fair enough.
Right. But yeah, thank you for having me. Always a pleasure to join you guys. Talk about video games. First Spoilercast for me, so this was
cool.
fun.
Oh, no kidding.
Especially for a game that I really, really love, for a studio that I love. And yeah, it was great. So thank you for having me. Just gotta plug my Atari podcast. I like to do that while I'm on these, just if you want to check that out. So you go to our YouTube page. It's really the best place to see it, because I'll play the games while I'm interviewing the people that around Atari that are doing the games. So got one for Mortal Kombat in the can that's coming up, that's talking to Digital Eclipse about the Mortal Kombat collection, which I was not involved in the production. So when you see me playing it, that's basically my first time playing the game, really.
Play the Game Boy version. I want to see you play the Game Boy one.
I do play the Game Boy version. I try to play as many of the games as possible. There's a really funny moment in the podcast where I'm playing Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero. And man, it is like somebody's talking about something, and then I'm talking, and I'm having this silent conversation with somebody else who's like just watching in horror as we're like kind of just making faces like, this is real bad. There's a rewind function, thank God, but that game's something, all right. And there's also one, we just announced the release date for this Namco DLC for Atari 50. And once we announced it, I did a podcast with Digital Eclipse as well for that. And that was also an amazing one. Those guys are always great to talk to.
Cool, man.
Yeah, so check that out. Check out the Atari podcast. Drops every other week.
Yeah, please do that. And yeah, thank you for making yourself available. You're the glue that put this together, because everyone was slacking on Ghost of Yotei internally. It's a little disappointing.
So I'm happy to hope everybody enjoyed it.
Except for Gene, of course, who was here as well and also helped to make this happen. Gene, thank you for taking time to record with us today. Be well. And we'll see you next time. Is there any closing comments from you?
Yeah, I'm actually working on a 5-year review of PlayStation 5.
Oh, cool.
It's been 5
Nice.
years, right, since the release. So I figure 5 years is a good time to kind of look back at the generation and see what's been going on. So look forward to that. That should be sometime next week. I'm going to do the same for Xbox too. But the opposite of Xbox is that I am well, not really an opposite, but the different tack I'm taking with Xbox is I'm going to immerse myself in the Satya Nadella and Amy Hood universe. I've subscribed to Xbox Game Pass, and I'm committing myself to a few weeks of doing nothing but only using Microsoft services and Xbox services, and seeing how fun that is.
Cool.
So we'll see.
Good luck.
Yeah,
it'll be good. I mean, I think Game Pass is still a high value even at $30 a month. But
yeah. I'm looking forward to playing Keepers and a bunch of games that I missed. Indiana Jones. I never finished that game because I kind of didn't. I don't like Indiana Jones, but
yeah, it was fun.
There's a good reason for me to finally finish it.
It was fun. Machine games can do better than that, and I think I'd like to see them get back to Wolfenstein personally, but that's neither here nor there.
Completely. Yeah.
All right, my boys. Well, thank you again for your time. Appreciate you. Thank you all out there for your love, kindness, and support of all things Sacred Symbols Plus, Last Stand Media, etc. Patreon.com/Last Stand Media for early ad-free access. LastStandMedia.store for merch. We'll see you next time. Until then, goodbye. Sacred Symbols, a PlayStation podcast, is a product and trademark of Last Stand Media and Colin's Last Stand LLC, and is proudly recorded in the USA. The show was conceived by, is written by, and is directed by me, Colin Moriarty. My co-hosts are Chris Raygun Maldonado and Dustin Furman. The show is produced by executive producer Dustin Furman. All of Last Stand's theme music is by my best friend, Ramon Narvaez. As you know, all of Last Stand's shows, including Sacred Symbols, are fan-funded on Patreon at patreon.com/laststandmedia. The following names are at the producer level on Patreon, our highest tier, and we're grateful for your thoughtful and kind contributions to our independent endeavor. Thank you.